the chief of staff's granddaughter, spent 8 million to custom order a plane model from you. Everyone in the military district thinks Joe Kai scammed you. Who would foolishly spend 8 million on a model? With that much money you could buy a real plane. But they have no idea that this plane model was built using the newly activated tech system, a 6th-generation ultra-high-speed stealth fighter jet, equipped with an advanced AI combat system, breaking free from the constraints of modern combat systems, achieving true all-aspect stealth without dependency, fully autonomous single-unit operation. When this incredibly cool fighter jet appeared in front of everyone attending the chief of staff's birthday banquet was instantly stunned. The sleek shape is incredibly dynamic. Just looking at it, you can tell it's insanely fast. It gives off a strong sense of sci-fi impact. This plane model is so badass.
If only our country could build a fighter jet like this.
That would be awesome. Oh, Kira's eyes lit up instantly. Just looking at the shape of the fighter, she felt the 8 million was totally worth it. When she ordered, she requested a ton of extra features. It can't actually fly, but you can simulate real fighter jet operations. Grandpa will definitely love this birthday gift, right? Then Joe Kier walked up to the plane and opened the cockpit hatch. The cockpit's layout amazed everyone present even more. It's very different from traditional aircraft design. Most controls are on the LCD control panel. Even the control stick looks super cool, just like in a sci-fi movie, like the cockpit of a spaceship. When the generals saw the cockpit, they couldn't help but feel tempted. There was a strong urge to get in and fly the model. Seriously strong urge. It's hard to imagine that model factories are so creative these days. If this layout could really work, I want to be a pilot again. It'd be amazing to fly a fighter jet like this. That would be awesome. At this moment, Zhao Tian spoke up. Kier, since you're the one who custom ordered this flying model, why not hop in the cockpit and give it a try? Let's check out all the plane model's features. So when old Joe arrives, you can explain it to him. Sure, Joe Kier was also super excited about this awesome plane model. She agreed without hesitation and sat in the cockpit. The screen lit up immediately. A mechanical voice sounded. Pilot detected. Would you like to bind pilot identity? Whoa, this thing is pretty smart. Loads of features too. Feels just like the real thing. Everyone was amazed. Joe Kier got even more excited. It felt more and more worth the money. Binding identity. Voice recognition successful. Iris scan successful. DNA collection successful. Pilot identity has been bound. Would you like to start the fighter jet? Start. Joe Kier responded right away. She was dying to know what would happen in simulation mode. Soon, the mechanical voice came again. Cockpit closing. Everyone else please stand back. At least 10 meters away. You can watch via phone connection. This plane's features are next level. They even added all these smart features. People immediately took out their phones. Sure enough, there was a connection signal. With Joe Kier's permission, they connected to the fighter jet model. A screen in front of Joe Kier also displayed her phone camera's feed, so they could see each other. Flames shot out from the back of the model fighter. A roaring sound started. No way, this is way too realistic. The officers were completely shocked. It's basically no different from a real plane. Could this model actually taxi forward and even take off? What are you talking about? No matter how realistic, it's still just a model. At best, it can just taxi along the ground. Suddenly, someone shouted excitedly, "Quick, try flying it. See how fast this jet can go." Joe Kier smiled and didn't hesitate. Since she grew up playing on the base, she already knew most of the flying functions. She wasn't a stranger to operating jets. She pulled the control stick to simulate taxi and takeoff. She figured the plane would just taxi forward, but suddenly it accelerated and actually took off and shot into the clouds. The smiles on the officers' faces froze. A few seconds later, smiles turned to panic. What is happening? Isn't this just a model? How is it actually flying? Zhao Tian couldn't stay calm anymore. After all, Zhou Lao's beloved granddaughter was piloting it, and she wasn't even a trained pilot. If something went wrong, no one could take responsibility. So he yelled, "Kier! Land now. Don't take off." Joe Kier was starting to panic too. It was supposed to be just a model. How did it take off like a real jet? The mechanical voice sounded again.
Taking off.
Forced landing could cause a crash. Zhou Qier was startled and didn't dare to force a landing. She could only watch the plane shoot into the sky. Everyone was left in shock, and no one knew what to do. Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guohua were meeting with American military expert Smith at this moment. Zhou Zhenlong asked straightforwardly with a blank face, "Go ahead. What's your purpose for coming today? Don't bother with fake birthday wishes. Just tell me why you're here." Smith laughed loudly and said, "No wonder you're Zhou Zhenlong. You're really direct. My visit this time isn't just to celebrate your birthday. I do have something to discuss." Zhou Zhenlong replied calmly, "Go ahead, I'm listening." Smith joked, "I'd like to borrow the area marked as Zone 97. Zhou Zhenlong instantly got furious. "I'm telling you, no chance. No need to continue this conversation." With that, Zhou Zhenlong stood up to end the talk. But Smith just grinned cunningly and continued, "No rush. It's fine if you don't agree. We'll just rely on our own strengths. Let's see if your country can hold on to that land. Also, I have a gift for old Zhou. Our country has just developed 2 new reconnaissance planes. They can fly over 30,000 meters high and are extremely fast, with stealth capabilities that are shockingly good. They've already entered your country's airspace, and your radars didn't detect a thing. How is that possible?" Zhou Zhenlong didn't believe a word he said. "If the radar can't pick anything up, the enemy could attack any time, while you wouldn't even know. That would be too terrifying. If there really is such technology, America could take over the world." Smith continued, "Looks like old Zhou's knowledge is behind the times as well. Our 2 reconnaissance planes, right above the military base. Did your radar pick them up?" Hearing this, Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guohua felt their hearts sink. In the past, when US fighters intruded into Sha, even if the interceptor missiles couldn't reach them and the radar couldn't get a lock, they could still display the approximate position of the enemy aircraft. Now, however, they had received no reports, which meant the radar had detected nothing at all. Zhou Guohua said coldly, "You really just lie through your teeth. What if I said that Xia's reconnaissance planes are over the US right now?" Smith looked defiant.
He burst out laughing.
"I knew you wouldn't believe me, but I can prove it. Let's go to the command room. Once we connect to the communication equipment, you'll know for sure." Zhou Guohua asked in a heavy voice, "What kind of trick are you trying to pull? Do you want to hack into our defense system?" "You're overthinking it. Defense systems aren't that easy to hack. If that's not enough, I'll have the recon plane go to a specific location, and you can check with high-powered binoculars." Smith was incredibly smug at this moment, because he was already certain that Asha's air defense weapons posed no threat to them. "Let's go take a look." Zhou Zhenlong was the first to walk out of the meeting room. Soon in the command room, the connection was established according to the signal band provided by Smith. Sure enough, the large screen showed the enemy reconnaissance plane circling over the military base. Zhou Zhenlong clenched his fists, trying hard to suppress the anger in his heart. The radar operator reported with indignation, "Commander, Chief of Staff, using high-powered binoculars, we can see 2 enemy planes circling over the base, but our radar has no response." Beside them, Smith kept making sarcastic remarks. "Old Zhou, our new American reconnaissance plane, is its performance up to your standards? I hope Sha seriously considers the suggestion I just made." Facing Smith's threat, Zhou Zhenlong was so angry he nearly ground his teeth to dust. Suddenly, someone else shouted, "Report, Commander, Chief of Staff. An unknown aircraft has been detected over our military zone. It's moving at extreme speed." Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guohua suddenly looked at Smith. A flash of confusion also crossed Smith's eyes. The US only sent 2 reconnaissance planes. This plane is definitely not ours. Zhou Zhenlong spoke angrily. "Lock onto that aircraft immediately. Order it to land at the airport at once. Otherwise, don't blame us for getting rough." The technician lowered his head and spoke softly. "We can't lock on. It's flying too fast. It has already exceeded Mach 5. Zhou Zhenlong opened his mouth, his heart filled with bitterness. Could it be that Xia can only let enemies come and go as they please? Smith beamed even more upon hearing this. A fighter jet with such advanced performance must belong to the United States. It's likely a newly developed one. The secrecy work is so good that even I didn't know about it. Just after Smith spoke, he received a call request from the reconnaissance plane. With ill intent, he glanced at Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guohua. To continue demoralizing the two, Smith deliberately turned on the speakerphone. "This is Smith. What is it?" The pilot's anxious voice came through. "Report, sir. An unknown fighter jet is heading towards us. Its speed exceeds Mach 7. Please advise." Smith was instantly dumbfounded. He hurriedly said, "A jet that fast. Must be one of ours." "Didn't you ask?" "We already checked with the military base. We don't have this model of fighter jet. Nor did we send any other aircraft into Shay. Confirmed, this fighter jet is not ours. The enemy jet is too fast. It's about to catch up. What is the next course of action? Please advise." Suddenly, the entire command room fell into total silence. "How is this possible?" Smith roared, his face full of disbelief. A flight speed exceeding Mach 7. Even their latest reconnaissance plane couldn't reach that speed. This was like seeing a ghost. Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guohua were also very confused. Besides the United States, what other country could build such an advanced fighter jet? If it were a Xie fighter, it would be impossible to fly over the military base. Without any notification, everyone was completely baffled. Meanwhile, Zhou Qier was incredibly nervous. The plane was moving too fast. She frantically called the ground for help. "Uncle Zhao, I'm so scared. What should I do? I don't know how to operate this plane at all." Zhao Tian was worried sick. "Who did you commission to make this model plane? Contact them quickly and ask how to operate it." Zhou Qier's hands were gripping the control stick tightly. How could she have a spare hand to make a call? The fighter system detected that the pilot's movements were extremely amateur, switching to autopilot mode, simultaneously enabling tutorial mode to learn aircraft operation. This was exactly what Zhou Qier wanted. She quickly agreed to enter the pilot mode. "Hurry, teach me how to fly this plane." Autopilot tutorial mode enabled. Low-speed cruising mode. Top speed, Mach 7. Maximum altitude, 40,000 meters. The plane not only explained its various functions, but also displayed the instructions on the screen in a simple, easy-to-understand way. It even provided a voice command mode. Many function controls could be activated just by giving a verbal order. Zhou Qier learned very quickly. In less than a minute, she had mastered the basic control methods. She finally felt a bit more at ease. Since the phone was connected, the officers on the ground could also see everything inside the cockpit. All of them were completely dumbstruck. Is what the plane said true? This fighter jet, even in low-speed mode, can reach Mach 7? And it can fly at an altitude of 40,000 meters? Isn't that too exaggerated? It must be fake. It's probably just bragging. It's lucky enough that it can even fly. How could it possibly reach such a high speed? But I think the takeoff speed was very fast. Much faster than our fighters. Climbing at full power. While they were talking, they heard the fighters prompt again. Autopilot has detected radar scanning, enabling stealth mode, blocking all detection signals. In an instant, both the military base and the US reconnaissance plane's radar immediately lost their tracking target. This sent everyone's heart racing with fear. Suddenly losing a target definitely didn't mean the plane had been shot down. It meant there was technology that blocked the radar entirely. The American pilot became even more panicked. Reporting to General Smith, "We've lost the target signal. Awaiting instructions." The technician also reported to Commander Zhou at the same time. "Chief of Staff Zhou, our base radar lost track of the target." Zhou Zhenlong was both angry and anxious. What on earth is happening today? Have we seen a ghost? Where did this unknown aircraft even come from? He immediately called his superior to inquire. "Is there a new aircraft being test flown?" At this moment, Smith didn't know how to answer the pilot either. He was at a loss for words as well. Meanwhile, Zhou Qier was already flying her fighter to high altitude and heard another alert from the aircraft. Detected 2 reconnaissance planes performing IFF. Identification complete. This is an American reconnaissance aircraft. The pilot is an American airman. Enemy aircraft has excellent flight performance, equipped with advanced stealth capabilities. Should I shoot it down? On the aircraft screen, Clear images of the American reconnaissance planes appeared. Even the enemy pilots' faces were shown crystal clear. Even the pilots' names and detailed information were all found out. Zhao Tian was totally dumbfounded. Is this model plane really that amazing? It actually reached over 30,000 meters altitude. Sir, why do I feel like the data from the model plane seems to be real? It even captured the enemy plane and got a clear shot of the enemy pilot. How could this possibly be faked? All the officers looked up at the sky at the same time. You can't see anything from this altitude. Go ask the command center. Have they detected any enemy aircraft? A moment later, an officer drove over at top speed and returned shortly after. Panting, he reported the intel was correct. There are 2 American reconnaissance planes conducting surveillance over our base. Our radar can't detect them at all. The Americans are extremely arrogant. They're using this to threaten us. Old Joe and the commander are absolutely furious. Zhao Qian was furious on the spot. He grabbed his phone and contacted Zhou Kai.
If possible.
Shoot down those 2 enemy reconnaissance planes for me. Is it really possible to do that? Zhou Kier was a bit flustered. After all, he's just a student. How could he dare to do something like that? Just do it. I'll take full responsibility. Isn't the fighter capable of autopilot? I don't know how to operate it. You can activate the auto attack mode. The US needs to know. Our country's borders are no place for their arrogance. After Zhao Tian finished his sentence, he stared nervously at his phone. He wasn't sure himself. Can a model plane really have attack ability? But there was no other way right now. The military's radars and weapons were useless. They could only pin their hopes on this model plane. Understood. Zhou Kier had also heard. His grandpa and father were being threatened. The United States was relying on these 2 advanced recon planes. So he issued the auto-attack order. I order you to shoot down those 2 enemy planes. Order received. Enemy aircraft locked on. Missiles launched. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 missiles were fired. The 2 American pilots were still flying their recon planes. Circling overhead, radar suddenly detected 2 missile signals. And they were already targeted. The missiles were extremely fast. Far faster than their reconnaissance planes. They screamed in panic, reporting to General Smith. Our aircraft is locked by missiles. They were reporting back, while frantically flying their planes to escape. The enemy's missiles are way too fast. Over Mach 10. There's no way to shake them off. The pilots' voices began to tremble. They felt a strong sense of imminent death. Smith yelled in disbelief. That's pure nonsense. There's no such fast surface-to-air missile. Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guohua were also stunned. They had no idea what was going on. The mysterious fighter suddenly attacked them, and missiles had already been launched. At the same time, radar in the command room picked up the missile signals. Everyone felt numb all over. The planes in the sky were in total chaos. They still had no idea where the mysterious plane came from. Boom! Boom! 2 massive explosions. Everyone stared at each other in shock. The planes were shot down. Zhou Zhenlong was overjoyed.
He quickly ran out of the control room.
Looked up at the sky, searching for the wreckage from the destroyed planes. You could see the smoke from the explosion with the naked eye. Wreckage from the 2 aircraft fell down. Zhou Zhenlong immediately gave orders. Hurry, you must find the plane wreckage. Bring me the wreckage, Zhou Guohua quickly added.
If any pilot managed to escape,
don't let them get away. After speaking, Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guohua looked at each other. Both could see true joy in each other's eyes. If we can recover the wreckage, maybe we can learn some technology from it and boost our fighters' technical level. Also, now that we've shot down the enemy planes,
it proves this mysterious fighter
must be a Chinese aircraft for sure. Could it be that our country really developed a world-leading fighter jet? No way! Smith stomped his feet anxiously. How dare you shoot down our planes? This is an act of war against the United States. Wreckage of the planes. No one is allowed to touch it. Wait till I contact our specialists to recover the wreckage. Take them away if any pilots have ejected. You're not allowed to restrict their freedom. And you're definitely not allowed to interrogate them. But Zhou Guohua's mood right now is already completely different from before. Now that Xia Guo has the capability to shoot down the most advanced American fighter jets, there's no need to even take America seriously anymore. So he scoffed and sneered. How dare you invade our country? You deserve to be shot down. Go back and tell your superiors. If they dare to provoke Shaguo again, this will be their fate. You just wait and see.
If you go against us,
Shaguo will make you regret it. Smith knew saying more was pointless.
he left angrily right after.
Zhou Zhenlong couldn't even be bothered to see him off.
He quickly returned to the command room. He was so excited that his whole body shook.
Hurry up and contact the pilot. Ask them which military region they belong to. The technician quickly replied, "Report to the chief of staff. Their signal is completely blocked. We can't reach them at all." The mysterious plane is flying off into the distance. Estimated altitude has already exceeded 40,000 meters. Radar still can't detect it. We can only use a high-powered telescope. At this moment, another technician also reported to the chief of staff. "Commander, the mysterious fighter has already left the base area. Even the high-powered telescope can't see it anymore," Zhou Zhenlong immediately said. "Then quickly check with the other military regions and departments. Find out which department is testing a new fighter jet." Zhou Guohua frowned and spoke. "In terms of weapons research, it seems only our central military region has the strongest research institute. Can any other region surpass us? Since it's not an American fighter jet, and it's not one of ours from Shaguo, who else could it be?" As the two discussed, once everyone had been contacted, the report was made to the chief of staff. "Sir, we've asked everyone, including the aviation administration and all operational commands. They all say they're not testing any airplanes. Even the military headquarters has no idea about this." Zhou Zhenlong's heart instantly sank. What is going on here? Could it really be Russia? Maybe we got excited for nothing. We better report this to our superiors quickly. The country must have a contingency plan. After all these dramatic mood swings, Zhou Zhenlong didn't even feel like writing a report. He just handed it off for his subordinates to handle. Zhou Guohua sighed as well. "Let's go. We need to get back to watching the military exercise. We can't let this incident disrupt the exercise." Meanwhile, Zhou Qier watched as the missile shot down the enemy jet. She was both nervous and excited. "Uncle Zhao, did you see that? I shot down both enemy reconnaissance planes. Look at this model of the plane. It's really awesome. Well done. Let's see if the Americans dare to act arrogant anymore." A nearby officer said, full of doubt, "Do you guys really think this still counts as just a plane model? I'm afraid. This is already the most advanced fighter jet in the world. The person who built this plane must be incredible. We have to get Kier to talk to that person. Convince them to join our Central Military Region's Weapons Research Institute. With talent like this, Shaguo will definitely develop even better weapons." Zhao Tian nodded, and then said, "Kier, the enemy jets have been shot down. It's safe to land now. When you land, you have to share this good news with the chief of staff and the commander. Shaguo finally has a top-level fighter jet." Zhou Qier replied, "No, I can't land yet. The fighter jet is still training me. I probably have to finish all the lessons before landing." Zhao Tian reminded her worriedly. "Then make sure you pay close attention and learn well. And be careful." At this moment, the jet's alert sounded again. "Basic control training is now complete. Advanced training is starting. G50 speed limit program deactivated." With a loud boom, flames suddenly erupted from the back of the fighter jet. The exhaust became even more intense. The fighter jet instantly accelerated, soaring off into the distance. Just now, top speed displayed was Mach 7. In the blink of an eye, it actually surpassed Mach 10, and the speed kept increasing. This is just insane. Zhao Tian was snapped back to his senses. Thinking fast, "Kier, slow down immediately. With acceleration like this, your body can't handle it." Zhou Qier calmly answered, "No, I honestly don't feel much pressure." Zhao Tian was extremely shocked. Could it be this plane uses some advanced technology, so that even sudden acceleration doesn't affect the pilot at all? A modern fighter jet accelerates very rapidly, and pilots need to be in top condition. If acceleration is too high, a normal person would pass out instantly. Yet she says she's fine. What's going on here? The other pilots started discussing it too. This fighter jet is designed so well. Every detail is thoroughly considered. If this jet can be mass-produced, the US will never dare show off in front of us again. As they were talking, the fighter jet had already broken past Mach 12. The speed was so incredible, and the flight was happening at low altitude. The jet cut through the air like a blade. A trail of white vapor appeared behind the jet. In the sky, two Shagwo fighter jets were in training flights. Suddenly, they felt a huge object flash by above their heads. The pilots were completely stunned. Number two. Did you see something fly overhead? I felt it, but I didn't actually see anything. It all happened way too fast. Still, why didn't my jet's radar pick up anything at all? Could we have imagined it? Nonsense. One person can have an illusion, but not both at the same time. Report this to HQ immediately. That might have been an enemy missile. The two pilots didn't think of a fighter jet at all. Seriously, how could a jet be that fast? Only an ICBM or a long-range missile could do that. If the US is attacking, this is a big deal. The Eastern Military Region Commander got the emergency report and angrily yelled, "How could that be possible?" No matter how advanced the missile, radar would detect it. The pilots insisted. Both of us could tell.
Besides,
There's a long white trail left in the sky. You can see it clearly. I don't think a missile would cause that. It seems more like a plane flying at super high speed. To get that effect, you'd need to fly at least Mach 10 or faster. Hearing the pilots, the commander scolded them. That's just nonsense. What country has a fighter jet that can go that fast? They might as well rule the world. The technician beside the commander quickly reported, "We've detected a white vapor trail at high altitude, just like the pilots described. And tons of people are seeing it online too. They even took photos and uploaded them online. The predicted flight speed should be around Mach 12. The military district commander was stunned after hearing this. He couldn't help but curse out loud. What the hell? What the heck is this thing? Quick, use the radar to track it. The military district immediately went on high alert. We must shoot it down. Report to the central military at the same time. The enemy may be planning a surprise attack on our country. Moments later, the radar operator was drenched in sweat. He reported to the commander. Our radar isn't showing anything at all. Their stealth technology is extremely advanced. Hearing this, the commander's heart skipped a beat. His eyes widened in anger. He shouted, "How is that possible? Could there be some kind of mistake? Maybe it's just a smokescreen released by the enemy. They're trying to confuse us on purpose. There's absolutely no mistake. I just ran the calculations based on the airflow in the sky. Only a fighter jet could cause this phenomenon. And the flight speed is no less than Mach 12. The one speaking was Ma Dongfang, head of the Eastern Military District's Weapons Research Institute. His words held great authority. The military district commander looked utterly dazed. His fists clenched tightly. What should we do now? The enemy is invisible and untouchable. They could attack us at any moment. The crucial thing is, we haven't even figured out who they are. I'm afraid only the US would have such advanced technology. They're purposely flying fighter jets at high speed through our airspace just to show off their military strength. After thinking for a moment, the military district commander immediately gave orders. Even though the enemy's jets are advanced, we need to activate our entire air defense system. Respond with full force. If the enemy dares to attack, we should at least intercept their missiles. Ma Dongfang let out a deep sigh. That's all we can do for now. But there was something he left unsaid. Their fighter jets are so advanced. Can our missiles really intercept them? The Ministry of Defense received the report from the Eastern Military District. They also treated the situation as a major threat. A lot of related information was rapidly gathered. An emergency meeting was underway. The Minister of Defense was furious. He slammed his fist on the table. This is just too much. A Mach 12 aircraft crossed nearly half of Xiaguo's territory in a short time. What exactly is the US trying to do? Meanwhile, on the plane, after flying for a while, Joe Kier finally finished the training. The plane's speed also dropped. He looked around at his surroundings, finding it completely unfamiliar. Where am I anyway? The intelligence system quickly responded. This location is near Sakura country. Joe Kier was shocked. We're already near Japan this fast. The intelligence system replied calmly. Of course, since you've been using training mode all along. The maximum speed was limited to Mach 12. If it's in combat mode, the maximum speed can be increased to Mach 15. Joe Kier nodded. I see. Let's return to base for now. Meanwhile, Zhao Tianyu and several officers were listening via cell phone to all of this, dumbfounded with shock. They'd thought Mach 12 was already the limit, but hadn't expected it could actually exceed Mach 15. This means that even if the enemy fires missiles, our fighter jet could chase them down and destroy them. The group was breathing rapidly in excitement. Zhao Tian even warned Kier cautiously. You must be extra careful on the way back. Bring the jet back safely. What are you all standing around for? Suddenly, a stern voice rang out. It was Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guohua. As senior officers, behavior like this is not proper in the military district. Zhou Guohua's expression darkened. He was about to scold them, but Zhou Zhenlong didn't say much. He scanned the group and asked Kier with confusion, "Weren't you coming to celebrate my birthday? Why aren't you here yet?" The group hesitated. After a moment, Zhao Tian spoke up nervously. "Commander, Chief of Staff, I have something to report. Please stay calm, everyone," Zhou Guohua said with disdain. "If there's something, spit it out already." Mumbling and stammering. That's no way to act. Zhao Tian took a deep breath and started explaining everything. Here's what happened. Kier already arrived just now. We were all looking at the gift together. We thought it was just a fighter jet model at first, so we had Kier get familiar with the features. She tried out the simulator, but unexpectedly it actually took off. And it even shot down 2 intruding enemy aircraft. But Zhou Zhenlong didn't believe it at all.
He laughed and said, "You guys,
Really like making up these stories to amuse me. What's the point of lying like this? Is she just hiding somewhere? Go get her out here already." This made Zhao Tian panic. "Chief of Staff, what I just said is the truth. I absolutely did not lie. Everyone here can vouch for it." The group quickly spoke up. "That's right. The plane really took off." Zhou Guohua suddenly remembered what happened just now. "Dad, just now, weren't there 2 U.S. reconnaissance planes shot down? Could it really be?" Zhou Zhenlong also realized something was off. His expression grew extremely serious as he addressed the group. "Earlier, you said 2 enemy planes were shot down. Did someone tell you about this?" "No one told us. We all saw it with our own eyes. The plane is still connected to the cell phone. If you don't believe it, ask yourself." Zhao Tian handed over the phone. The screen showed Zhou Kier piloting the fighter jet. She happily greeted the two. "Grandpa, Dad, I can fly a plane now." Seeing this, Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guohua were completely shocked. A moment later, Zhou Zhenlong quickly asked, "Where are you now?" Zhou Kier replied with a smile, "I just finished the flight training on this fighter jet, and I'm flying over Sakura country. I'll be back soon." Zhou Zhenlong was so startled that his voice trembled. "You're flying a fighter jet all by yourself? That's way too dangerous. You need to be careful. Come back quickly." Zhou Guohua's face turned serious. He questioned the group again. Wasn't it supposed to be just a plane model? How did it start flying for real? Zhao Tian explained everything in detail. The order was taken by one of Kier's classmates. "I have a feeling that this person is definitely not ordinary. Probably a top technology expert. He might be taking this chance to provide us with advanced weapons. But I still can't figure something out. If he's so capable, why doesn't he join a national research institute?" Zhou Zhenlong nodded. Since he gave Kier the plane, he must have a good impression of her. Let her get in touch with him first. Once we understand the specifics, we'll be able to handle it. While they were discussing, Zhou Kier was piloting a fighter jet through Sakura country's airspace. Unexpectedly, a fighter jet approached head-on. The 2 fighter jets passed dangerously close. The pilot of that fighter jet was actually an American pilot. After receiving news that the reconnaissance plane was shot down in our airspace, they were preparing to send him out to investigate. Didn't expect that right after takeoff he'd run into Zhou Kier. When the pilot realized, he cursed, "Fuck. This isn't one of our fighter jets." At the same time, the G-50 jet alerted. Enemy aircraft spotted. Locked by enemy fire control radar. Engaged in combat mode. The aircraft quickly accelerated, climbing rapidly. Zhou Kier's first thought was to shake off the enemy plane as soon as possible. When the words came through the phone, Zhou Zhenlong and his crew instantly tensed up. They hurriedly checked the phone. By switching camera angles, they saw the enemy fighter jet closing in from behind. Zhou Zhenlong was so nervous his heart was in his throat. It's the most advanced American F-60 fighter jet. Hurry up and retreat. Joe Gowa shouted angrily. If the other side dares to fire, I won't let them get away with it. At that moment, the American pilot was also utterly shocked. His plane's radar couldn't lock onto the target at all. There wasn't even any indicator on the radar screen. If he hadn't seen it himself, he wouldn't believe there was a fighter jet flying in front of him. Even if it's a stealth fighter, there's no way I let you escape. The American pilot pushed the throttle to full power and chased after it. He launched a missile directly, using heat-seeking tracking for the strike. The G-50 fighter jet's alert sounded. Enemy aircraft launched an attack. Request to counterattack. Before Zhou Qier could answer, Zhou Zhenlong already yelled, "What are you waiting for? Take them down." Upon hearing this, Zhou Qier immediately gave the order, "Initiate counterattack." As soon as she finished speaking, a missile was launched. Meanwhile, the G-50 fighter jet suddenly accelerated and quickly left the missile trailing far behind. The American pilot couldn't believe his own eyes. The mysterious jet suddenly accelerated and in just a blink disappeared from sight. Alert! Alert! My plane has been locked by a missile. The American fighter jet's dashboard flashed a red alert, scaring the pilot out of his wits. He hadn't had time to react, when suddenly with a loud bang, the fighter jet was hit by a missile. Both heat-seeking missiles suddenly lost their target and ended up locking onto a factory on the ground, because the factory's chimney was emitting the most heat at that moment. Boom! Boom! Two loud explosions were heard. The factory was bombed. The surviving Sakura citizens were completely stunned. Panicking, they began running outside. Right afterward, the downed fighter jet crashed onto the ground. Many people recorded it on their phones and uploaded it online. Sakura country's authorities tried to cover it up but couldn't. It caused a huge stir worldwide. Zhou Zhenlong saw everything through his phone. He was so excited he was trembling all over. This fighter jet is incredible. With this jet, anyone daring to invade Xia country will never return. That's right, notify immediately. Seal off the military district's airport. Everything witnessed is top military secret. Anyone who dares to leak a single word will be charged with treason. After more than a year of frustration, Zhou Zhenlong finally gets to hold his head high. I'll call and report this news to the higher-ups right away. The new fighter jet must be classified at the highest level. The defense ministry was in a meeting, when suddenly they received a confidential document. The minister opened it and glanced at it, and was stunned on the spot. The Central Military District reported a mysterious jet appeared suddenly, and shot down two of America's latest reconnaissance jets. And they've confirmed the mysterious jet doesn't belong to our country. They believe it's most likely Russian origin. This fighter jet flies extremely fast, and has excellent stealth capabilities. Our radar can't detect it at all. One official was greatly shocked. Could the phenomenon in our eastern military district have been caused by this fighter jet? I suggest we immediately negotiate with Russia. What if Russia refuses to admit it? The defense minister frowned. Suddenly, an intelligence officer rushed in, reporting major news. There's been a big incident in Sakura country. An American fighter jet had just taken off and suddenly crashed, and it launched two missiles that hit a factory, causing serious casualties. All officials present were stunned. America has a military base in Sakura country, mainly to counter Xia country. All of them are advanced main fighter jets. How could a crash like this happen? Even if it crashed, shouldn't have launched the missiles, right? There must be details that haven't been revealed yet. A military expert immediately spotted the intelligence in the news, gave orders to send people for a thorough investigation right away to find out what secrets Sakura country is hiding. After giving the orders, the minister muttered to himself, "What's going on today? So many unbelievable things happened in just one day." Then someone spoke up, "Minister, the Central Military District Chief of Staff, Old Joe, is calling. He says he has important news. Hand over the call." As he spoke, the minister felt uneasy. Is something else bad going to happen again? The minister was the first to speak. "I'm Dao Yuanqiu." Very soon, Zhou Zhenlong's voice came through the phone. "Here's the situation. The fighter jet that shot down the American plane is our new model. This jet accidentally flew into Japanese airspace. It shot down another American F-60, but they fired first. We acted in self-defense. Hearing this, Dao Yuanqi's eyes widened instantly. What do you mean our fighter jet? Didn't the earlier report say it wasn't our jet? And if we have such advanced jets, how could the military district not know? At that moment, Dao Yuanxiu felt like his brain was about to fry. Zhou Zhenlong replied helplessly, saying it's a long story. I just found out myself. The plane is on its way back now. I've already locked down the military district. No information will be leaked. Dao Yuanqiu still couldn't believe it. This isn't something to joke about. Are you sure? Zhou Zhenlong spoke seriously. I guarantee everything I said is true. My granddaughter's piloting that fighter jet. There's no mistake, the jet is about to return. I have to get ready to receive them. I'll submit a detailed report as soon as possible afterwards. With that, Zhou Zhenlong hung up the phone. Dao Yuanxiu was still holding the phone, looking baffled. When did General Zhou's granddaughter join the Air Force? What exactly is going on? At this moment, everyone's eyes were on Minister Dao Yuanxiu. General Zhou called. In the Central Military Region's airspace, the plane that shot down the American recon jet was ours. As for the American fighter jet that crashed in Japan, we also shot that one down. Regarding the strange phenomena detected in the Eastern Military Region and online, I guess our fighter jet was simply flying too fast, causing those effects. As soon as Dao Yuanqiu finished speaking, the tense atmosphere in the conference room disappeared. Everyone began discussing cheerfully. Some even suggested releasing some data about the new fighter jet to intimidate the United States. Let's all calm down. We've got some extremely important matters to handle. Though Dao Yuanxiu was also elated after the call, he was still troubled by some pressing issues in front of him. The new fighter jets have indeed been developed, but we took down 2 American planes right before their military experts. And what's even crazier, we went over to Japan and shot down another fighter jet. How are we supposed to explain all of this? It's truly a headache. It's really troublesome. Someone said with a laugh. That's easy to handle. The chief is great at dealing with these things. When he felt all eyes on him, the chief straightened his back and confidently said, "Leave it to me. I guarantee I'll handle it." Dao Yuanxiu looked serious. This concerns the current stability of the situation. We have to be extremely careful. Shift all the responsibility away from us. We absolutely can't bring trouble on ourselves. And we can't give the West another excuse to target us. It's essential that other countries believe these incidents have nothing to do with us. The chief smiled. You still don't get the essence of the Bureau of Strategic Misinformation. In the past, the Bureau's goal was to make the West believe we were underdeveloped and no threat to them. But now the situation is different. Given the current situation, everyone's engaged in an arms race. Fall behind and you'll get beaten. If you're weak, you'll be bullied. This is actually a good opportunity. We need to deny everything, while at the same time make the enemy think we've already mastered advanced weaponry. That way, they'll become wary of us and won't dare invade our territory. Brilliant. You really are the chief. That's clearly the best approach right now. We need to deny everything and make the other side feel that it's possible we really do have advanced weapons, making the enemy fearful. The unknown is always the most frightening. The Ministry of Defense quickly discussed their strategies. They soon issued a public announcement due to special weather conditions. Some unusual meteorological phenomena have occurred, but there's no need for concern. The white clouds in the sky are just part of this special weather and pose no harm at all. But after the announcement was released, no one believed it. No one bought the official explanation. Do you believe it yourselves? This is obviously just trying to fool us. I also think it's ridiculous. Tons of people saw some black thing flying across the sky at an incredible speed. So explain that to me. If it's just the weather, then what is that black flying object? Probably some advanced weapon being tested, right? Honestly, I hope it is. Seeing that the netizens didn't believe it, some military experts, and even some meteorology experts, started giving science lessons to the public on TV and online. But they'd rather die than admit the weird phenomena were caused by weapons. Their explanations just don't hold water. They're full of loopholes. Netizens even started treating the whole thing as a joke. But it doesn't matter. As long as the officials don't admit it, there's nothing anyone can do. Before long, Zhou Kia returned safely with the fighter jet. The airport where she landed had guards every 5 meters and sentries every 10 meters. Soldiers were fully armed, providing tight security. Jo Kier had never received professional plane landing training. She was at a total loss. When the plane's alert sounded just in time. Recommendation: use vertical landing mode. It's not only convenient, but also much safer. Jo Kier immediately agreed. Switched to vertical landing. Originally, they'd prepped the runway for the landing, but saw the jet hovering in the air and slowly descending instead. Everyone stared wide-eyed, craning their necks to watch it. Am I seeing things? This fighter jet even has VTOL capability? Jo Go-wa was in shock, watching the jet gently touch down, and rushed forward quickly. As the canopy opened automatically, Jo Kier stepped out of the plane and bolted into Zhou Zhenlong's arms. Grandpa, Dad, I've already learned to fly a fighter jet. Zhou Zhenlong hurriedly checked his granddaughter to see if she was hurt or uncomfortable. Tell Grandpa right away. I'll get a doctor for you immediately. Jo Kier said excitedly, I'm totally fine. Absolutely nothing's wrong. I was very nervous at first. But this jet is incredibly intelligent. It not only has autopilot, it can even give flight lessons in real time. He still hadn't fully calmed down from the excitement. After all, flying a fighter jet and taking down 3 enemy planes. That was unimaginable even in dreams before. Zhou Zhenlong was moved to tears. Great, great. You're truly my good granddaughter. You've made a huge contribution to the country. Jo Go-wa quickly asked by the way. Did you really get this fighter jet from your classmate? Didn't you say you bought a model? How could you possibly build a real jet fighter? And this one is so advanced. Jo Kier was also totally puzzled just 7 days ago. I found Lin Hai, told him to make an airplane model. It had to look exactly like a real one. Add every possible feature. But I never expected he would actually make a real airplane. Jo Go-wa looked very serious. You need to know, this fighter jet is extremely advanced. Even our own Xia nation can produce it. There's definitely a brilliant expert behind this Lin Hai. Such talent can't go to waste. We must convince him to join our Central Military Region's Weapons Research Institute. Let him contribute to our nation's development. Hearing this, Jo Kier was very surprised. Wait, wasn't this plane made by Lin Hai? Zhou Zhenlong answered seriously. No way. A jet this advanced. Even with thousands of top researchers, it would be hard to develop in such a short time. So there must be a genius-level master behind him. Maybe even a huge team of experts. Let me call him and ask now. At this moment, Jo Kier felt both excited, but also a little angry at you. She clearly asked for just a model. And you actually delivered a real fighter jet. Luckily, the plane is very smart. If she couldn't learn to fly it, the consequences would be unimaginable. After a few rings, the call connected smoothly. Jo Kier spoke first. Lin Hai, this is Jo Kier. On your end, you laughed and said, Jo Kier. By now, the airplane model should have arrived. Did you see it? Are you satisfied? Jo Kier replied through clenched teeth. Satisfied. Very satisfied. So satisfied, I couldn't be more satisfied. This plane you made can actually take off just like a real jet. You acted like it was no big deal. And laughed. Ha ha ha. I've already flown a real plane, you know? Didn't you say you wanted it just like the real thing? And told me to add every feature possible. So I put them all in. I did exactly what you asked. Added takeoff capability. Made the flight performance the best it could be. Added stealth features. And even missile and super radar functionality. As they listened to you. All the officers stared at each other. You caused such a huge mess. But still sounded so confident. They wanted just a model jet. But you, man, actually built the real thing. Luckily, it was delivered to the military. If this plane had fallen into the wrong hands, the consequences could have been catastrophic. It's almost unimaginable. Jo Kier got even angrier. If it can really fly like a real jet, why didn't you tell me sooner? No, this plane is extremely smart. All you have to do is ask it how to operate, and it'll show you every function. How was I supposed to know you would? Just take off in it before knowing how it all works. You felt pretty helpless, too. First of all, this was a reward from the tech system. I had to build it in order to complete my mission. Secondly, Joe Kier was supposed to deliver this plane to the military base. Logically speaking, with such a realistic jet, a pro pilot should fly it first. I didn't expect Joe Kier to be so bold and be the first to fly it herself. After thinking for a moment, you asked with concern, "Are you alright?" Even if you flew it without training, you'll be fine, because this fighter jet is highly intelligent. It can fly itself automatically, and if it detects any danger, it handles the situation accordingly. It can even teach you mid-flight. Upon hearing this, Joe Kier gritted her teeth even harder. It's not like anything serious happened. Just shot down 3 enemy jets from the US, that's all. You suddenly felt dizzy. Are you messing with me? How could it be that much of a coincidence? You never imagined something like this would happen. You were completely stunned. You even felt like running away. Joe Kier gave a cold laugh. I'm the one who flew the fighter jet. Why would I joke with you? Thinking about what had happened earlier, he still felt shaken even now. Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guowao looked at each other with an expression like, just as we thought. They guessed. You knew all along. It was a real fighter jet. The 8 million yuan fee was just an excuse to give the plane to the country. You cautiously asked, so does shooting down enemy fighters count as a contribution? I'm not going to be punished, right? Joe Kier replied. You won't be punished. My dad and grandpa are actually quite happy. They want to say a few words to you. Zhou Zhenlong figured it all out and decided to talk to you personally. Hello, I'm Kier's grandfather, also the chief of staff of the Central Military Region, and the director of the Central Military Region Weapons Research Institute. You were shocked. You only knew Joe Kier's grandpa was a retired Air Force pilot, but never imagined he had such a high rank. Hello, I'm Lin Hai. Zhou Zhenlong continued. I heard from Kier that this fighter jet was custom ordered from your family. Can I ask who actually made it? You responded. I personally designed it for Joe Kier and built the jet myself. Hearing this, Zhou Zhenlong thought silently. Looks like the expert behind you is really determined to stay mysterious. Better not force you too hard. Otherwise, you might refuse to hand over the entire technology. Then we won't get the complete set. So he asked you with a more compromising tone. Truly a young hero. So young, yet able to make such an advanced jet. Can you hand over the full set of technical blueprints to the country? Don't worry. The country won't just take them for free. Just name your price. As long as it's not outrageous, we'll meet your request. Hearing this, you immediately replied happily that it was no problem, since it's useful to the country. I am more than happy to hand over the full set of technical drawings to the state. As for the price, just give me whatever you think is fair. I trust you won't let me get the short end of the stick. You had originally thought about giving it to the state for free, but using the super processing platform to manufacture weapons also costs money. In order to provide the country with more advanced weapons, you still have to charge a little bit of money. After a moment, Zhou Zhenlong spoke. How about 50 million? Your eyes suddenly widened. Your heart nearly jumped out of your chest with excitement. 50 million was more than you could spend in a lifetime. Although compared to the value of the entire set of technology, it wasn't even a fraction of the cost. But if it were sold on the international market, selling for tens or even hundreds of billions, other countries would be fighting to buy it. But you have the super processing platform and the technology system, allowing you to buy processing materials from the myriad worlds. So the cost is extremely low. 50 million is enough. Thinking this, you spoke up. No problem. Let's go with that price. I'll organize the technology. How should I get it to you? Zhou Zhenlong never expected that you would agree so readily. He had originally thought that with a price of 50 million, the other party definitely wouldn't agree. He deliberately quoted such a low figure, just to draw out the person who truly manufactured the fighter jet. But he didn't expect you not to follow the routine at all. Could it be the other party really wants to donate all the technology to the state? Otherwise, there's no way they would accept a 50 million quote. Forget it. As long as he is willing to continue providing technology to the country, it's fine. There's no need to force him to show his face. Zhou Zhenlong replied with a smile. I'll have Kier go and pick it up. Just give it to her. You agreed very straightforwardly. No problem. I'll organize all the technology, put it on a USB drive, and you can just come and get it. After hanging up the phone, Zhou Zhenlong's brow furrowed. The other party is willing to take only 50 million to provide us with a full set of technical drawings. Once we have the drawings, we can soon produce this fighter jet ourselves. At this moment, everyone was overjoyed. As long as it's genuine technology, this price is not expensive. Then what are we waiting for? Let's carry out the transaction immediately. If we can mass produce this kind of fighter jet, we'll never have to worry about the US invading our airspace again. Zhou Zhenlong spoke solemnly to Zhou Qi'er. Grandpa is giving you a task, and you must complete it with all your heart. Lin Hai is not a simple man. And behind him, there is definitely a very powerful technical expert. In the future, you must get closer to him and find out who the person behind the scenes with the technology really is. It would be best if you could persuade them together to serve the country. Grandpa's point is, this fighter jet wasn't built by Lin Hai. Zhou Qi'er nodded and agreed. I understand. I will definitely get to the bottom of this. Zhou Qi'er accepted the task. After this incident, Zhou Qi'er was also full of curiosity about you. She was determined to find everything out. Subsequently, Zhou Zhenlong issued a series of orders. Send this fighter jet to the Weapons Research Institute, and let all the experts study it in advance. Once we get the drawings, arrange production matters immediately. Additionally, anyone who has come into contact with the new fighter jet, without orders, is not allowed to leave the military district. Soon, the plane was transported to the military district's Weapons Research Institute. Experts conducted measurements and research. But during the process of dismantling it, they discovered the structure of the plane was incomprehensible to everyone. That's not right. How does this fighter jet not have a fuel tank? Forget the fuel tank. Even the engine isn't a traditional fuel engine. What kind of technology was used here? Could it be that takeoff is electrically driven? It's absolutely impossible to be electric. Even if the plane were full of batteries, it wouldn't provide enough power. All the experts looked at each other in shock, and they all thought of the same thing: nuclear fusion energy. Just who developed this fighter jet? They actually dared to use nuclear power on a plane. A miniature nuclear fusion reactor. Could this be a product of this era? The experts looked at one another. The expressions on their faces were utterly shocked. No wonder. The plane can fly at speeds over Mach 10. The metal used for the exterior is simply unheard of. This metal is several times stronger than titanium alloy, but its measured density is only 1/3 that of aluminum alloy. Being able to detect the US stealth fighters and shoot them down indicates that the radar on the fighter jet is also extremely advanced. We should quickly study it for mass production, to be used at all military bases and on all fighter jets. Every single technology on the fighter jet left the experts feeling incredibly shocked. After several hours of discussion, they finally reached a conclusion. With current technology, this fighter jet simply cannot be replicated. There is only one way to produce it. Invite the person who built this fighter jet model to provide guidance, because the technology of this fighter jet model is just too advanced. Manufacturing materials, radar, propulsion systems,
And energy systems.
the experts couldn't solve any of them. So they immediately reported the news to Zhou Zhenlong. Zhou Zhenlong was also extremely shocked after hearing it. You can't replicate it even with the sample right in front of you? The technical staff member nodded. That's right. The most difficult part is the material used to build the jet. It's a brand new metal, lightweight and high strength. It's simply the perfect material for manufacturing aircraft. Even a sniper rifle couldn't penetrate the plane's shell. So this plane's durability is quite strong. But as for this material, we can't even analyze its composition. The technical level far exceeds our era. Secondly, we suspect that this fighter jet uses a nuclear propulsion system. This is miniature, controlled nuclear fusion technology. With our existing technology, we can't even dismantle this fighter jet. If the power system is damaged, the explosion would be equivalent to a nuclear bomb. Hearing this, Zhou Zhenlong was both shocked and excited. In that case, halt the research work for now. Wait until we get the drawings to restart the study. Also, I will find a way to hire the expert who actually developed the jet to assist us in producing the new fighter jet. On the other side, following her grandfather's instructions, Zhou Qi'er came specifically to your home. You ask curiously, why are you here so soon? Aren't you supposed to celebrate your grandfather's birthday today? Regarding the fighter jet's production drawings, I was thinking of bringing them to you at school tomorrow. With something so big happening, how could Joe Kier be in the mood to continue the celebration? Even the planned military exercise was cancelled. Joe Kier looked at you with a faint smile. The fighter jet model ordered from you has already become the treasure of the military district's Weapons Research Institute. All the technical experts are studying it. Tell me the truth. Who exactly designed this aircraft? Is someone trying to use you to gift this fighter jet to the nation? You didn't know whether to laugh or cry upon hearing this. You hadn't expected such a massive misunderstanding. Why would I lie to you? This fighter jet was truly designed and built by me. If you don't believe me, let me take you to the workshop. Joe Kier nodded. All right. I really do want to see where you build planes. Your workshop was a spacious factory building. Various models were displayed on the shelves. Planes, cannons, tanks, ships. It had everything. And every model was manufactured with great precision. Joe Kier, looking at a model plane about 20 centimeters long, asked curiously, these models are so small? Can they actually fly? With a slight smile, of course they can fly. It's just that these model planes have a relatively slow flight speed. The speed is only a few hundred kilometers per hour. They can be used for civilian purposes. But for military use, the performance is too poor. Joe Kier immediately caught the key point. She followed up by asking, from what you're saying, it is possible to produce small military aircraft with even better performance. You answer seriously. What you're talking about should be called a drone. If you want high-performance military drones, that is certainly no problem. Joe Kier said, then could you build me another controllable drone? But the price can't be too high. I don't have much money left. You readily agreed. Of course, no problem. Just come pick it up in 3 days. If it weren't for Joe Kier's massive order, you wouldn't have been able to successfully awaken the tech system. So you planned to build another high-performance small drone to express your gratitude to Joe Kier. Joe Kier continued, by the way, I came here today on a mission from my grandfather to invite you to join the military's Weapons Research Institute. You can ask for any treatment or benefits you want. You are very hesitant after hearing this. A Weapons Research Institute is indeed a dream job for many. Not only is the pay good, but the social status is also high. But you have the tech system. You need to rely on the tech system to make money. The more money you earn, the more technologies you can unlock. After joining the Weapons Research Institute, how would you make money while working every day? You didn't want to lose your freedom. Joe Kier asked with a half smile. What's wrong? Standard. Could it be that you weren't the one who built that fighter jet? Are you afraid that after entering the institute, your true skill level will be exposed? You waved your hand? That's not it. I've given you the technical blueprints. You will definitely encounter difficulties during the production process. You can ask me directly if you have any questions. But as for me joining the research institute, I really don't have that much time. Joe Kier had already anticipated your refusal. So she continued, I have a compromise that can help solve this problem. Grandpa said, he can give you the position of technical consultant. Whenever you are free, you can come to the institute to guide the work. When the institute hits a snag, you can come over to solve it then. This way, it won't interfere with your other business at all. If that's the case, it's worth considering. You thought the proposal was good? It wouldn't take up too much of your time. And you could still contribute to the country. You also wanted to do your part for the nation. Seeing you waver, Joe Kier said with a laugh, don't think about it anymore. I'll tell Grandpa right now that you've already agreed. You nodded. All right, here's all the data on the fighter jet. You should take it back with you. You handed the USB drive to Joe Kier. Taking the USB drive, Joe Kier called Zhou Zhenlong directly. Grandpa, I have good news. I've confirmed that the fighter jet was built by Lin Hai alone. And he has already agreed to be a technical consultant for the Weapons Research Institute. Zhou Zhenlong had been waiting for this good news. He immediately said, that's great. Ask Lin Hai if he's free now. Our technical experts are researching the new fighter and have run into many problems. Can he come over to help guide us? Hearing this, Joe Kier looked at you and said, "They've run into some problems researching the new jet. Do you have time to go over and help guide them?"
Standard. No problem, you agreed straightforwardly. Since this fighter jet can shoot down the latest U.S. reconnaissance plane, it will be a huge help to the national defense industry. You also hoped to mass-produce the new fighter jet as soon as possible. Arriving at the Weapons Research Institute together, Zhou Zhenlong looked you up and down with keen eyes. He nodded with satisfaction. Impressive, a true young hero. I'll have to count on you for the R&D of the new jet. You smiled and said, "No problem. I will definitely do my best." A group of technical experts couldn't wait any longer. They hurriedly urged, "Stop with the pleasantries for now. We have a lot of questions for him." At that moment, an expert with a full head of white hair asked you, "What metal is used for the fuselage of this fighter jet? Why is the density so low but the strength so high?" You immediately began to explain. This metal is called titanium alloy. It's an alloy material made from titanium, aluminum, magnesium, and more than 30 other metals. It's produced using special technology. After hearing what you said, Joe Kier immediately took the USB drive and opened it on the computer. All the production techniques are in the files. Several materials experts started studying it carefully. Other technical personnel continued asking questions. What technology is used for the radar on this fighter jet? How can it detect and lock onto stealth fighters? You explained that it's because this is a quantum radar. It can detect targets as far as 20,000 kilometers away. Stealth jets, when facing quantum radar, are really nothing at all. The technicians kept asking more questions about the power system of this fighter jet. Is it nuclear powered? How did you design the reactor to be so compact? You explained that the energy source for the propulsion system uses controlled nuclear fusion for power. Not only does it have low operating costs, but it also has an extremely long endurance time. Moments later, all the experts were absolutely stunned. They simply couldn't imagine that a young person could master so many advanced technologies. Now they were completely convinced that this new fighter jet was indeed designed and built by you, because all the technical issues and questions can be easily answered. They have come to regard you as a top treasure. Meanwhile, the US lost 3 planes in a row. The top leaders were absolutely furious. A steel plant in Sakura Nation was bombed and destroyed, suffering heavy losses. They're demanding compensation from the US. The US has never bothered with Sakura Nation before. They're still fuming about losing 3 planes. So how could they possibly pay compensation? Hans, the commander of the US garrison in Sakura Nation, pointed at the Sakura officials and started to curse furiously. Are you out of your minds? Our fighter jet had just taken off, was shot down right after launching missiles, clearly taken down by enemy aircraft. Our fighter jets are protecting you. Yet Sakura Nation dares to demand compensation from us. Sakura Nation's officials didn't believe this at all. Impossible. Your jets are the most advanced. What country could even shoot down your jets? Hans kept on angrily. Isn't it obvious? It was either Bear Nation or Xie Nation. It was definitely one of those 2 countries. A Sakura official asked doubtfully, "How is that possible?" Your fighter jets often fly into the airspace of Xia Nation and Bear Nation to scout. Their radars can't even detect them, and their fighter jets can't keep up. How could they show up in Sakura Nation and shoot down your jets? Hans was furious now. You dare doubt what I say. If it wasn't them, do you think we deliberately crashed our own jets just to destroy your factory? What would our United States gain from that? Confronted with General Hans's furious outburst, the Sakura officials' momentum dropped immediately. They were so nervous they started to stutter. So, what should we do? You need to protect our safety. Hans nodded with satisfaction. Don't worry about a thing. With the United States here, no one dares to make a move. All you have to do now is put all the blame on Xia Nation. Say that Xia Nation invaded your airspace, shot down our fighter jets, and bombed your factory. Demand that Xia Nation take responsibility and compensate you for all your losses. After that, Sakura Nation and the United States simultaneously used the news media to accuse Xia Nation of invading them.
The US accused Xia Nation of shooting down their jets, and Sakura Nation blamed Xia Nation for bombing their factory. They even posted scenes of the aftermath of the factory being bombed online, trying to win sympathy from netizens around the world. The Xia Nation's government didn't even have time to reply, and the Xia netizens were already furious. They started a full-on counterattack online. This is total bullshit. How dare they frame Xia Nation? Show your evidence. The US has always been invading our airspace. You crashed your own jets, and now you want to blame us. Honestly, I really wish we were the ones who did it. That way, we wouldn't have to keep being bullied by the US. The US and Sakura Nation never expected to end up shooting themselves in the foot. Even many people in their own countries don't believe Xia Nation shot down their jets. If Xia Nation and Bear Nation really had such powerful weapons, how could they let the US jets come do recon missions again and again? What's more, Westerners don't believe either that the US could be surpassed by Xia Nation or Bear Nation. From their point of view, the US is the world's superpower. Their technology and weaponry are the strongest. When Xia Nation's officials saw that global public opinion was in their favor, they couldn't let such a good chance slip by. The Strategic Deception Bureau stepped in immediately, organizing lots of people to post online. Since the US says we shot down their fighters, let's just admit it. Otherwise, they might try to put even more pressure on us. Honestly, all the US wants is for us to compensate them. Just say so directly. No need for this whole bitter show. In order to find an excuse to target Xia Nation, they destroy their own fighter jets and even bomb Sakura Nation's factory. What a huge sacrifice. We in Xia Nation dream of having weapons capable of shooting down US jets. Too bad we don't have any. These comments drew even more sympathy and approval from people abroad. After all, a lot of countries are bullied by the West all the time, so they really understand the feeling. The US is just too much. Are they preparing to attack Xia Nation now? First, they stir up publicity internationally, demonize the other side, then find an excuse to attack. It's not the first time the US has pulled this kind of stunt. The damn United States just wants another chance to start a war. But Xia Nation is no pushover. They actually have nukes. If you want to bully Xia Nation, you'd better think carefully whether you can withstand nuclear bombings. Sakura Nation is also detestable. Just to help the US contain Xia Nation, they even blew up their own factory. With the help of the Strategic Deception Bureau stirring things up, more and more people believed it was all a false flag operation by the US, that they crashed their own jets on purpose and dumped the blame on Xia Nation. This made it impossible for the US and Sakura Nation to defend themselves. They were absolutely furious. The US president was so angry he smashed his water glass. He roared loudly. Who says we shot down our own plane? Do you know how much a single fighter jet costs? Do you know how much money and time it takes to train a pilot? If the US wants to deal with a country, would we really use such a stupid method? That's just an insult to our intelligence. Sakura Nation also started some small protests. They believed it was a bitter trick scheme invented by them and the US. Not only did they blow up the factory, so many workers died or were injured. People all over the country just can't accept it. The top officials of Sakura country were so angry they nearly coughed up blood. They suffered the heaviest losses. Yet everyone still thought it was just their own staged scheme. They had no idea who to turn to for compensation. Some people even said they deserved it. In China, people watching the news were overjoyed. Finally, they got a good dose of satisfaction. They learned that China had mastered advanced fighter jet technology. Every day after school since then, you would ride with Zhou Qier. You both headed to the military district's Weapons Research Institute, helping to guide technical work. Then you'd go home and make drones for Zhou Qier. By the third day, you finally finished building the drone. The drone looked a bit like a demon. It had a streamlined fishtail design, and it featured vertical takeoff and landing. The flight speed could exceed Mach 10. Because the drone was so small, it couldn't carry missile weapons at all. So you changed your strategy and equipped the drone with a laser cannon. It became a reconnaissance, an advanced drone with air-to-air attack capabilities. When she saw the drone on the shelf, Zhou Qiera's beautiful big eyes widened. the super cool appearance, and the black metallic sheen was simply mesmerizing. This drone is so awesome. It kind of looks like the American B-2 bomber. You nodded and said that's right. Only with this design can you achieve higher speeds. Joe Kier couldn't wait any longer and spoke up. Let's hurry and take it to the military district to test it. The drone is 1 meter long and 1.3 meters wide. 2 people can easily lift it. Just put it in the car and bring it over. As soon as you arrived at the Weapons Research Institute, you saw many experts gathered together. They were watching a piece of equipment. Even Zhou Zhenlong and Zhou Guohua were there. When they saw you arrive, the experts warmly greeted Lin Hai. You're here! Come take a look! According to the technical drawings and requirements you provided, we've already assembled a quantum radar prototype.
It's undergoing final adjustments.
You were quite surprised. That was quick, it's done already. Your efficiency is really impressive. Zhou Zhenlong sighed, saying we had no choice but to speed up. No one knows when the US might send another reconnaissance plane to invade our airspace. With this radar, at least we can be more at ease. As he spoke, he saw people carrying something over in the back. He asked curiously, what is that? You smiled slightly. This is a drone toy made, especially for Kier. You can use the latest AR glasses to see it in flight. It's also very easy to control. When the others heard that, they all came over to take a look. Zhou Guohua exclaimed, holographic controls? How is the structure of the glasses so simple? They're even more delicate and refined than our military ones. The design of this drone is pretty good. It's actually jet-powered too. It can't be cheap, can it? You calmly said, at 20,000 yuan for this kind of quality. I think it's totally worth it. It's much cheaper than most consumer drones. Only 20,000 yuan? Just a single jet engine alone? Probably costs more than that. The experts immediately became very interested in this drone. They all wanted to study it further. You smiled and said, let's test the radar first. That's the most urgent matter right now. You guys go ahead. I'll study the drone controls. Then Zhou Kier put on the AR glasses, started up the drone, and taxied it forward. Then it took off. You joined the experts to test the quantum radar. As long as the quantum radar test succeeds, any foreign aircraft, or even missiles entering China's airspace, can be detected instantly once it locks onto an enemy jet. The anti-air missiles can be directed at it. Meanwhile, over these last few days, the American military leaders were furious. News of their fighter jets being shot down must be rumors spread by China behind the scenes, trying to undermine America's reputation in the media. I refuse to believe that China really has such advanced fighter jets. Maybe it was actually a pilot error. Or maybe the aircraft malfunctioned. Even if China has the ability to shoot down our fighter jets, we still have to investigate to be sure. Perhaps it was just a fluke that they were shot down. In reality, China doesn't have such powerful weapons at all. Listening to the words of the generals, the US garrison commander also felt they made a lot of sense. What's the use of just accusing China? The most important thing is to reclaim our dignity. I have decided to send out another fighter jet to enter China for reconnaissance. If our fighter jet is shot down again, it proves that China really has mastered weapons that pose a threat to us. But we also have to figure out exactly what weapon they used, so we can continue to upgrade our technology and maintain our leading edge. If it enters China and returns safely, this would indicate that China doesn't have such advanced weapons at all. And then the one who acted against us was Russia. The base commander also strongly agreed with the general's proposal. Let's do it. Even if we shoot down a Chinese fighter jet, so what? They wouldn't dare go to war with us. At most, they'll just issue a condemnation. We must prove to the whole world that the combat power of the United States is the most advanced. Subsequently, the US military base sent out another advanced fighter jet
Toward China.
for this reconnaissance mission to China. A large number of cameras were installed on the fighter jet, not only for scouting ground military facilities, but also to film the combat situation. If it gets shot down again, we will know what weapon China used. The pilot flying the plane was the military base's ace pilot, Williams. His flying skills were quite remarkable. And among the Air Force pilots at the military base, he held extremely high prestige. Williams stepped on the gas, feeling smug and triumphant. He wished he could reach Chinese airspace immediately. He even considered that if he wasn't detected by Chinese radar, he would fly the fighter at low altitude over Chinese military bases to thoroughly humiliate China. The more he thought about it, the more elated he felt.
He soon arrived in Chinese airspace.
Without any concealment, Williams flew toward China's Central Military District because those two fighter jets were shot down in the Central Military District. Furthermore, the Central Military District protects the capital. Provoking the defense capabilities of the Central Military District is an insult to all of China. Soon, Williams couldn't help but mock. China's defensive power is nothing special. I've been in their airspace for so long, and there's no reaction at all. I think those two previous pilots were just stupid. It's very likely they were shot down due to operational errors. I haven't even turned on the stealth function, and Chinese radar hasn't found me. I really don't know what those two idiots were doing. They're practically shaming the United States. The command personnel at the base attached great importance to this reconnaissance. Conducting command from the military base, they reminded Williams, "You are approaching the range of China's Central Military District. You must be extra careful. Enable the stealth function in a timely manner. Retreat immediately if you encounter danger. Prioritize your own safety." Williams spoke boastfully. "Don't worry. The person who can defeat me in this world hasn't been born yet. Even if I don't turn on stealth, China's radar won't find me. If they do find me, even better. Just let them send people to chase me. This time, I'm definitely going to teach the Chinese Air Force a lesson. After you finish checking the quantum radar, you started the test. See that? This little light dot is the drone Kier is currently flying. Flight altitude, 5,600 meters. Flight speed, 900 kilometers per hour. The radar display was very clear, especially for the reconnaissance target. Much of the data was displayed with great precision. Suddenly, an expert took a strong interest in your drone. It's really good. The display effect is very clear. Maximum test range is 20,000 kilometers, which can easily cover the whole country. The drone's performance is quite good. Can the speed be increased even more? If it can break Mach 2, it would be almost at a level where it has no rivals, you said with a smile. Of course, no problem. Kier, have you mastered the drone's functions? Test the drone's peak performance. Joe Kier replied immediately. No problem, I'm going to start accelerating. Joe Kier immediately lifted the speed limit, allowing the drone to climb rapidly. Everyone stared intently at the radar screen. Unexpectedly, a drone actually flew to an altitude of 10,000 meters, and it was still climbing. Man, is this still a drone? If we could have a drone bomber fleet, wouldn't we be invincible? It flew up to an altitude of 25,000 meters in one go, leaving everyone present somewhat unable to believe it. This is just too exaggerated. At this time, Joe Gowa frowned and said, "What happened to the toy drone? Why design it to fly this high? Even military drones cannot reach such a high altitude." You spoke with a smile. This was specially made for Kier. The trade version for external sales needs to meet relevant national regulatory requirements. It's not just built randomly, Zhou Zhenlong said immediately. A copy of these drone blueprints must also be kept. Let the Weapons Research Institute study it carefully to see if it can be used to carry ammunition. Flying this high, it wouldn't fear anti-aircraft missiles at all. We can consider producing a batch of them. You reminded them. If you want to see the flight conditions of the aircraft, you can connect the signal to the big screen. Zhou Zhenlong was very surprised. What? It actually has that function. Concordance. You nodded with a smile. Of course, that way you can see the aircraft's flight footage more intuitively. Soon the signal was connected, and the aircraft's camera feed appeared on the big screen. Next, I'm going to accelerate. Testing maximum speed. Joe Kier gave a reminder and began to make the aircraft accelerate. The speed soon exceeded Mach 1 and soared to Mach 3. Everyone was shocked and speechless. At such a high speed, you didn't install a miniature nuclear reactor on the drone too, did you? The extremely fast flight speed caused a slight delay in the footage on the big screen. Regarding this, you curled your lip in disdain. The refresh rate of this big screen isn't good enough. It can't quite keep up. Zhou Zhenlong was instantly speechless. whose aircraft can fly this fast and still connect a signal to a big screen? There was never a need for this before, okay? He hadn't even processed it yet. You nodded. Understood. This will do for now.
He didn't want to provoke Zhou Zhenlong again at this moment.
The other experts and officers were also staring at the flight data in shock. Good grief, such a powerful drone could completely equip the entire army. As a main battle weapon, Zhou Zhenlong was even more straightforward. Just say it. How much does this technology cost? Just name your price. You thought for a moment. The structure of this drone is quite simple. The technical content is relatively low as well. How about 20 million? No problem. Same account as last time, right? I'll arrange the transfer for you right away. Zhou Zhenlong agreed very straightforwardly. 20 million national currency. That's not even enough for the development cost of a regular drone. Buying the complete set of blueprints directly is really a bargain. You close another deal. Feeling very happy. I'll organize the blueprints tomorrow. Suddenly, an officer spoke up in surprise. Look. Why did a fighter jet suddenly appear here? Quick. Ask which unit is doing training. Our central military district doesn't have any flight training today. It's not from our district. The radar shows an unfamiliar fighter jet heading this way at high speed, making everyone present feel extremely puzzled. If another military district enters our defense zone, they should notify us in advance. Could it be... Is it another jet from beautiful country? Infiltrating our airspace again? You immediately command the radar operators to take action. Activate radar analysis function. We can determine the model based on the aircraft's profile signals and identify the aircraft type. The next second, information on the plane appeared on the radar screen. F-60 new fighter jet. Sure enough, it's a beautiful country jet. Zhou Guohua slammed his fist on the table in anger. They're way too arrogant, daring to recklessly intrude into our airspace again. They have zero respect for us. Looks like the lesson we taught them was too light. This time we absolutely can't let the enemy jet escape. Zhou Zhenlong decisively gave the order. Deploy pilots to take off in G-50 jets immediately. Shoot down this intruding enemy plane. But you stopped them by speaking up. Please wait a second. Zhou Zhenlong asked in confusion, what's wrong? Is there a problem? You smiled slightly. Although this drone can't carry missiles, I did install a laser cannon. Although it's not very powerful, it can still take on a fighter jet easily. And the drone controlled by Kier is only a little over 200 kilometers away from the target. It can reach the takeoff point in the blink of an eye. The new fighter model is even more effective. Everyone was stunned by what you said. Letting a drone take on an enemy fighter jet? Is that really reliable? You replied with a smile. We won't know until we try. The F-60 fighter jet's top speed doesn't exceed Mach 7. I estimate it's about Mach 5. Even if the drone can't shoot them down, sending the G-50 after won't be too late. We're guaranteed the enemy can't escape. This fired up Zhou Zhenlong immensely.
He said, all right.
If this drone can take down their main fighter jet, I'll personally recommend you for a commendation. He then turned to Zhou Kier and said, Kier, connect the quantum radar, catch up and shoot the enemy down. No problem, Zhou Kier agreed readily. She then pushed the drone's speed to the limit, and it actually broke Mach 10. Everyone present was stunned. My God, is the drone really able to exceed Mach 10? That's just unbelievable. Flying at Mach 10, 200 kilometers is covered in almost a blink. Meanwhile, Williams is flying the fighter jet smugly, reconnoitering the military base, while chatting idly with his commanding officer in the base. I'm almost over the military base now. Xia country hasn't reacted at all yet. Once I finish mapping the terrain, I'll lower my altitude and give them a show of force. If I don't humiliate them a bit before I leave, what's the point of coming all this way? The base commander still reminded him to be extra cautious. If anything seems off, return immediately. Williams didn't care. He nodded. Got it. Xia, country Air Force will never shoot me down. Not even in 100 years. Before he could finish, an object zipped by at high speed, startling Williams badly. He hurriedly checked his plane's radar. The radar didn't show anything. He was just too tense. Was he hallucinating? But at over 20,000 meters altitude, Xia country's fighters can't possibly reach here. Just now, Zhou Kier controlled the drone model, brushing right past the beautiful country fighter jet. Zhou Guo was filled with hatred. He immediately issued orders. Shoot it down. Order the other search teams to deploy right now. After shooting down the enemy plane, secure the scene. We absolutely can't let the pilot escape. Then Zhou Qi'er remotely controls the drone. It flies toward them at lightning speed. You remind to activate stealth mode. Don't let the enemy spot us. Got it. Zhou Qi'er turns on the stealth function. She maneuvers the drone behind the enemy aircraft. From not far away, we can capture very clear footage. You point at the screen and say, look, the enemy's aircraft is equipped with lots of cameras. They can monitor all directions. I guess they're here this time, just to film how we shot down their fighter jet. Zhou Guo nods. That's right. Luckily, you had Qi'er activate stealth ahead of time. Speaking of which, we've gotten so close. The enemy hasn't reacted at all. This means their radar can't detect the drone at all. How did you manage that? Even the drone's stealth is this impressive? We have to start producing this drone quickly. With this drone, we can guarantee the safety of our airspace. Not only is it cheap to build, but its performance is amazing. Most importantly, its parts are simple in structure. Way easier to make than the G50. All the experts on site are absolutely shocked by the new drone's capabilities. You reply decisively, mass-producing the drone shouldn't be an issue. With our production technology, we can set up a manufacturing line in no time. At this moment, Zhou Qi'er speaks. The enemy is locked. I'm getting ready to fire. Zhou Zhenlong briskly gives the order. No more waiting. Shoot the enemy aircraft down immediately. I'll take responsibility for any consequences. Zhou Qi'er hesitates no more. She launches the attack directly. A laser beam hits the enemy jet's engine. The rear of the American jet explodes. Only one engine is left running. The plane becomes extremely unstable in flight. Williams is instantly terrified. He struggles to keep the jet balanced. He's sweating bullets from panic. What the hell is going on? Why did the jet suddenly malfunction? Military. The base commander also notices the jet has issues. He hurriedly shouts, "What's happening over there? Are you under enemy attack?" Williams has lost all his confidence from before, reporting, "I didn't notice any sign of attack. It might be a jet engine malfunction. Explosion occurred. I'm preparing to return to base immediately. Hurry back. How's your situation? Can you fly back with just one engine?" The commanding officer is extremely worried, afraid the jet won't make it back, trying to initiate landing. Williams responds confidently, "Don't worry, with my piloting skills, I can definitely get the jet home." Although the reconnaissance mission failed this time, our jet's stealth capabilities are excellent. The major power has no idea. Right as he finishes speaking, the plane's other engine gets blasted again. The fighter jet completely loses power. It's quickly dropping. Williams is totally panicked now. He urgently yells, reporting. "Base, reporting in." "Base, the second engine just exploded. I can't pilot the jet back anymore. I have to activate the jet's self-destruct. Please make sure to rescue me." Next moment, the fighter jet explodes midair. The missiles it carried were incredibly powerful, blasting the jet to pieces. Zhou Zhenlong excitedly punches his own palm. "Nice job. You've earned another success. Absolutely incredible. We only needed a drone to take the enemy's jet down. This drone's performance really is amazing. We have to mass produce it. Roll it out to all the troops." The American pilots must still be confused right now. They still have no idea how their aircraft got shot down. You smile and say, "That's right, we blasted the enemy jet's engine first. They didn't flee right away. Plus, our stealth features are excellent, and our attack range is incredibly long."
Mary.
The American pilots simply couldn't detect the drone. Who knows? They might think some supernatural phenomenon happened. Zhou Zhenlong makes a prompt decision. Issues the order. Send someone out and arrest the pilot immediately. Remember, during interrogation, don't give away that we shot down their jet. Zhou Qi'er quickly flies the drone back and lands smoothly, removes the AR glasses. He runs excitedly toward Grandpa Zhou Zhenlong. "Did you see that just now? I shot down another enemy jet." Zhou Zhenlong looks lovingly at his granddaughter. "Nice job. You've earned another achievement. This one deserves to be recorded for you." Zhou Qi'er shakes her head. "Not really. I actually think Lin Hai deserves the most credit. If it wasn't for him, building such an advanced drone. I wouldn't have been able to take down the enemy jet. The biggest achievement should belong to Lin Hai. Zhou Zhenlong replies with a faint smile. Don't worry. I'll report Lin Hai's achievement to the country immediately. He'll definitely get the reward and honor he's due. Controlling the drone to shoot down the enemy jet is also a battlefield achievement. No need to be modest. Actually, before this, the commander had already given orders. Whoever can bring down an enemy jet gets promoted 3 ranks on the spot. Unfortunately, you and Zhou Qi'er haven't enlisted yet, so only other rewards and honors can be given. Zhou Qi'er grabs your arm excitedly. That's awesome. Now we both contributed to the country. After this experiment, it's clear the new radar can detect enemy aircraft, and it has plenty of new functions. With the new radar, if America sends jets to invade again, we'll spot them right away. And once we develop new missiles, if enemy aircraft dare invade, we can shoot them down with missiles directly. Much more convenient. Over here in Sha, everyone is ecstatic. But the US military is furious, watching their jet crash. And they still can't do a thing. Plus the cameras on the jet didn't record any sign of attack. So they all believe their own jet must have some hidden defect. The US Defense Secretary angrily slams the table. How could the R&D department screw up like this? And they still have the nerve to say their new jet is the most advanced in the world. But they can't even guarantee quality. Send diplomats to negotiate with Xie immediately. Make sure to get Williams back quickly. He's the ace pilot of our base. He has tons of intelligence. We absolutely can't let him stay in Xia's hands too long. Then the US Defense Secretary calls in the head of the space agency and the chief designer of the F-60 for a thorough scolding. He throws the report on the table in front of them. Open your eyes and look. The huge safety risk in the F-60 fighter jet. During reconnaissance, both engines exploded automatically. Look at the mess you've made. You were so confident back then. You said this was the most advanced fighter jet in the world. Now we can't even guarantee flight safety. This is seriously embarrassing. Chief Designer Thompson looked completely stunned. The new fighter jet one designed. There's absolutely no way it has any quality issues. You should know this new fighter jet went through extremely rigorous testing. Even in highly extreme environments, it can operate normally. Plus, it's been in production for over a year already. There has never been a single accident. That already proves the F-60 fighter jet is up to standard. The director of the National Aerospace Agency quickly echoed this. I can vouch that the F-60 has no quality issues whatsoever. The Secretary of Defense couldn't help but laugh angrily. The evidence is all right in front of us. And you still insist you're innocent. Take a look at the footage. When carrying out reconnaissance missions in Xia, with no warning whatsoever, both engines exploded one after the other, and the pilot flying the jet was our ace pilot, Williams. You can't possibly claim he made a mistake, right? After the Secretary of Defense finished speaking, all the footage was projected onto the big screen. Every angle of the fighter jet was perfectly clear to see. Everything was going smoothly at first. Suddenly, one engine exploded out of nowhere. A few seconds later, the other engine exploded again. You can still hear the pilot's panicked final words. The director of the aerospace agency and chief designer looked at each other in disbelief. They checked all the flight control data, but found no signs of improper operation. It's just too strange. All the data is normal. How could the engines explode? The director of the aerospace agency anxiously explained. This just makes no scientific sense. Since everything in flight was normal, and there were no operational errors, the engines shouldn't have failed. His brain felt like it was about to overheat. He couldn't figure out what the problem was. What happened right in front of him was completely beyond his understanding. There must be some kind of quality issue. You haven't resolved it. The Secretary of Defense glared harshly at them and said, I'm giving you 3 days. You must find out what's wrong. We've already produced dozens of F-60 fighter jets, and they're incredibly expensive. If a quality issue exists, even shooting you won't make up for your mistake. Nothing can cover up your error. The 2 men shuddered in fear. Realizing how serious the situation was, Thompson was left with no choice but to try and stall for time. We'll start testing the aircraft immediately. We'll investigate any quality issues and come up with a solution as soon as possible. If there is a real problem, that's actually not so bad. Finding a solution shouldn't be too difficult. But the biggest issue is they have no idea where the quality problem is in the fighter's engine. How can you fix something without finding the problem? Just get out of here. I still have to clean up after you. The Secretary of Defense gave them no cover at all. After the two left in embarrassment, the Secretary of Defense called his subordinates. Our fighter jet crashed in Xia. This news must be completely locked down. Absolutely no media outlet can report this. Also, have the State Department pressure Xia. Use whatever methods necessary to get the pilot back as soon as possible. They thought their cover-up was airtight. But Xia wasn't going to play along. The fighter jet from the US invaded Xia's airspace again. The whole world needs to see their ugly face. The military quickly captured the US pilot and filmed the wreckage of the crashed jet. All the data was uploaded online. The Foreign Ministry's spokesperson condemned the US for invading Xia's territory. Our central military district discovered the wreckage of the US fighter jet. Based on comparison with the wreckage, it appears to be the US's most advanced F-60 fighter jet. The cause of the crash is still unknown. But we've already found the pilot who flew the jet. Supposedly, he is the ace pilot from the US military base, Williams. And according to expert speculation, the newest US F-60 fighter jet most likely has a serious flaw. The engines may explode during flight. Once this news got out, netizens around the world started sharing it. America is truly evil. They actually violated another country's airspace again. This news cracks me up. Isn't America always so arrogant? Their fighter jets have major flaws. They crash on their own without any special action against them. For the sake of powerful performance, they totally disregarded quality. Suddenly, all the public opinion trends hit the hot search list. Everyone is making jokes about America, especially those countries suppressed and harmed by America. They are cheering happily. America never expected that China would dare to reveal the incident. It left them in a really passive position. The F-60 new fighter jet greatly lost its international deterrence. China is speeding up production and development, doing everything as fast as possible, building new radar and drone production lines. You go home and open your computer to check the news. Recently, America has been behaving much better due to all kinds of negative issues. They're not daring to fly the F-60 fighter jet to spy on other countries anymore. But some guy from India is becoming restless. He's constantly creating friction with Pakistan. You mutter to yourself, "This won't do. I have to come up with a solution." Suddenly, your online store pops up with a message.
It's a client from Pakistan.
You immediately send a message. "Hello. Is there anything I can help you with?" The Pakistani client messages. "Hello. We heard this store can custom make all kinds of aircraft models. Is that true?" You reply, "That's right. What kind of aircraft model are you looking for?" The Pakistani client replies, "We want to customize a batch of drones. They must have a flight altitude of at least 1,000 meters. The range needs to be over 30 kilometers. The flight speed should be over 800 kilometers per hour. And the drones need to be equipped with cargo drop devices." Looking at their requirements, you immediately guess they're for military use. So you ask directly, "What unit are you with?" You're not using them for warfare, right? "That's right, we are the Pakistani military. After seeing your drone specs are good, we want to order a batch from you." After clarifying their identity, you get excited right away. No problem, all your requirements can be met. If you're willing to pay a bit more, I can double the performance and add more practical features. However, each drone will cost 10,000 yuan. Is that acceptable? 10,000 is fine. We want to order 100 drones, but they need to be produced within a week. Can you make that happen? You smile slightly. It won't take a week. They can be shipped within 5 days. And the client is straightforward, trustingly transferring the money to you. Seeing the payment received, you're instantly full of motivation. As long as it helps deal with India, this order must be completed well. Tech system prompt, received a 1 million yuan order. Reward, 10,000.
Tech points.
Recommended suitable drone production technology for host. Blueprint, low-end stealth drone. Speed, 1.5 Mach. Maximum flying altitude, 3,000 meters. External sourcing,
Cost 3,000 yuan. Can carry 3 small grenades. Carries 1 small missile. Has strike capability. Upon hearing the system prompt, you're instantly overjoyed. This tech system is truly a lifesaver. So you immediately head to the workshop. Summon the super processing platform. Activate the multiverse procurement feature. Meanwhile, a procurement officer from Pakistan's military finally breathes a deep sigh of relief, his face showing excitement. He grabs the documents and reports to his superiors immediately. Reporting to Commander, a Chinese factory has accepted our drone order and can customize the drones to our requirements. Not only is the price low, but the performance and features exceed our requirements by a lot. On hearing that a Chinese company finally accepted their order, the frontline commander is also delighted. But after reviewing the order details, he frowns. Wait, so many advanced features. And it only costs 10,000 yuan total. How much did you pay them? The procurement officer asks confusedly. This online store required full payment up front. We wired all 1 million yuan. The frontline commander instantly blows up. This is ridiculous. You must have been scammed. Hurry up and report it to the police and get your money back. Maybe if you report now, it'll still be in time. I'm afraid that's not possible. The procurement officer is startled, stammering. The contract has already been signed. At this point, we have no evidence proving the other side is a scammer. The frontline commander angrily calls you an idiot. How could you sign such an obviously flawed contract with them? If this 1 million yuan goes to waste, I'll have you removed and sent to military court. Don't you ever think, where in the world would you get such a good deal? Such advanced drones, for 10,000 yuan each? Even if it's 100,000, that's probably not even enough for the costs. Upon hearing this, the procurement officer also realizes something's off and starts feeling uneasy. Meanwhile, to rush the order, you take 2 days off and work day and night. It only takes 2 days to finish producing the 100 drones. Recently in the news, Pakistan has been losing ground in the confrontation.
India
Has deployed a lot of tanks, artillery, and other heavy weapons. Pakistan has no power to resist. You're also really anxious, and even paid extra for air freight. The 100 drones don't take up much space when packed up, and their appearance is all plastic material. Even customs thinks it's toy models when checking, so it passed inspection easily. No one knew that this plastic is extremely strong, far superior to many alloys. It also greatly reduces weight and increases speed and endurance. Most importantly, this composite plastic gives higher signal strength. It has strong anti-jamming capability. After shipment was successful, you sent the client a message. The order is complete. The 100 custom drones were shipped by air. They will arrive at the airport in 5 hours. Please receive them in time. The procurement officer was overjoyed at the news and quickly replied, "Thank you so much. I didn't expect your production speed to be so fast." You reply, "We know your battlefield situation is urgent. The factory is producing 24 hours non-stop, just to help win you more time. Hope these drones can help you guys." After the conversation, the procurement officer rushed to report to the war zone commander. Reporting to commander, there's good news. That drone manufacturer isn't a scammer. They finished the entire order in only 2 days and completed production, and they air-shipped the goods to us. They'll arrive in just 5 hours. After finishing speaking, he was proudly waiting for the commander's praise. But the commander looked even grimmer. "You idiot. Haven't you figured it out yet? Use your pig brain for a second. 100 drones produced in 2 days. How can the quality be any good? Can they meet our operational requirements? It's probably just some toy factory making plastic model planes. Now I'm totally certain you've been completely fooled. Drones like this, if bought in Shah country, would cost maybe a few $100 at most, maybe even less. They can't serve as real weapons at all. They're sending you the goods like normal, just to keep us from calling the cops." When the procurement officer heard this, he immediately fell silent. What the commander said actually made sense. All right, just forget about this order. Let's hurry up and consider how to buy weapons from other countries. With the Jinshin front lines losing again and again, even the theater commander had lost interest in punishing the procurement officer. The officer in charge of purchasing also thought he'd been scammed.
and felt completely down. But thinking about it, since after all, the 100 drones had already been shipped, it's not like they could just leave them at the airport. Even if the quality was a bit poor, selling them off might help cut some losses. So he found 2 people to drive over and pick up the shipment. They quickly brought the drones back to the base. They opened the packages to see, and the procurement officer felt even worse. The drones looked well made at first, but when he saw the plastic shells, he realized they were just regular toys. Damn crooked merchants. The procurement officer was furious and had no intention of even testing their performance. He waved his hand at the others and said, "Cheap stuff is never any good. Buying a toy for $10,000 is a huge ripoff. Find a toy dealer and ask how much they'd pay for drones like these. Just get rid of all of them." One of the soldiers really liked playing with drones, so he opened a box to try one out. He even came up with a good excuse. Even if we're going to sell them, we should at least know how fast and high they can fly. We need real data to negotiate better. The others thought that made sense, so they stood by to watch him fly the drone. Even though it was a toy, it actually came with an AR headset. The build quality was pretty good too. As long as the flight speed is fast enough, I think we could still get a few $1,000s for one. He commented on the drone's quality as he flew it. Just as he started to operate it, the drone shot straight up into the sky with a swoosh. It vanished in the blink of an eye. Everyone at the scene was shocked. This drone takes off way too fast. They were all stunned. I've flown military drones before. None of them took off this quickly. Not only is the takeoff speed amazing, but it's also super quiet. It'd be hard for the enemy to spot it early. The soldier flying the drone was excited and kept shouting, "Oh my god, this drone's performance is insane." The AR headset is also super clear, and there's absolutely no signal lag. The others also realized they might have been wrong. Just the flight speed alone of this drone is no less than any military drone. So, they went ahead and tested its maximum capabilities to see if it could meet their requirements. It wasn't long before the test results were out, even better than the original order specifications. Whether it's flight speed or distance, and payload capacity, all exceeded the product requirements by over 10%. Right now, the frontline commander is holding an emergency meeting. The Third Nation's army has advanced another 30 kilometers. If they cross the mountains, we'll completely lose all our advantages, and we won't be able to compete with them. We have to come up with a solution quickly. No matter what, we must stop the Third Nation's mechanized troops from advancing. We're extremely short on heavy weapons, and we have no air superiority. Even transporting artillery to the front lines would mean being bombed by enemy aircraft. There's really nothing we can do. The frontline commander looks grim. His eyes are cold and sharp. If there's really no other way, then we'll form a suicide squad. Use explosives to blow up the enemy's tanks. No matter the cost, we can't let the enemy cross the mountains. The officers present are all shocked. Forming a suicide squad would mean heavy casualties, and it doesn't guarantee a 100% victory. This decision must be made with caution. The enemy's firepower is too strong. Even a suicide squad would have trouble getting close. We have no other retreat, tell the soldiers. Even if it's down to the last man, no one is to retreat. If everyone dies in battle, I'll take up arms and fight too. The frontline commander looks both tragic and heroic, inspiring everyone's respect. Even the commander said this. What complaint could they possibly have? The commander is right. If the mountains weren't stopping them, if the enemy crosses over, we won't have any more chances to resist. Form a suicide squad. Fight them head on. We absolutely can't give up. I don't believe we can't beat them. If the Third Nation dares to bully us, we'll make them pay. Report, major discovery. A soldier holding a drone rushes into the office. Everyone looks at him. Do you know there's an important meeting right now? What could possibly be so important that you have to report it right now? The soldier is out of breath
and says excitedly,
reporting to the commander, the drones we bought from Shagwa are unbelievable. They're nothing like we expected. They're not toys at all. We weren't deceived. The commander jumps to his feet. What did you say? Explain yourself. The soldier catches his breath and starts from the beginning. Here's what happened. We originally planned to test the drone's performance, and if it was bad, we could sell them to toy dealers to make up for the loss. We didn't expect these drones that look like toys would actually have amazing performance. Top flight speed reaches Mach 1.5. Maximum flight altitude exceeds 3,000 meters. Can carry 3 grenade bombs. And it can also be equipped with small missiles. After hearing this from the soldier, everyone was left shocked and speechless. With these drones, Commander, you can even carry larger bombs. Use them to bomb enemy tanks and artillery.
Even.
Regular enemy jets and attack helicopters can be shot down easily. Let's go check them out right now. If they're really as good as you say, deploy them to the battlefield immediately. Just a moment ago, everyone looked tragic in the meeting, ready for a last stand. No one expected things to take such a dramatic turn so quickly. The drones purchased from Xiaguo turned out to be incredibly powerful. The sudden good news gave everyone confidence. Meanwhile, at the Third Nation's front lines, the Third Nation soldiers were feeling very smug. With America's support and plenty of advanced weapons, this war would let them annex Iron Brother Nation. Once we defeat Iron Brother Nation, next we can deal with Xiaguo. Very soon, the Third Nation soldiers received orders to attack again. Fighter jets and attack helicopters took off. All kinds of heavy weapons moved up to the front. They planned to use superior firepower to wipe out the Iron Brother Nation's troops all at once. The soldiers' faces were bursting with excitement, thinking victory was at hand. Charge. At the order,
Tanks and armored vehicles charged forward at full speed.
suddenly there was a faint buzzing in the sky. It sounded like bees hovering. A black object dropped from above, hitting a tank squarely. Boom! The explosions were non-stop. Bombs landed accurately on tanks and armored vehicles. Before long, all the tanks and armored vehicles up ahead were destroyed. Then the attack helicopters were also targeted, exploded in the air, and crashed down quickly. What's going on? What's happening up there? The Third Nation's frontline commander's face is furious and anxious, full of confusion, completely at a loss at the sudden attack. After just one bombing run, 33rd Nation tanks were destroyed, more than 20 armored vehicles, and 13 attack helicopters. After dropping all their bombs, the drones quickly returned to base. They found they still had enough range for 3 more round trips. This delighted the Iron Brother Nation's frontline commander and officers. They were overjoyed. I was wrong. I can't believe they sold us so many advanced weapons at such a low price. This must be Xiaguo's newest military drone technology to defeat the Third Nation. We really have to rely on Xiaguo's support. From then on, the Third Nation's army felt like they were in hell. Completely caught off guard, bombs rained down from the sky. In less than half a day, all their heavy weapons were destroyed. There were over 2,000 casualties among the soldiers. The whole army's morale was utterly crushed. Many frontline soldiers fled in panic. Iron Brother Nation's troops seized the chance to counterattack, driving the Third Nation's army back over 100 kilometers. Even Iron Brother Nation couldn't believe victory could come so suddenly. They immediately shared the news with the world. Well done. That'll teach the Third Nation a lesson. The entire internet mocked the Third Nation. The Third Nation's top brass were furious. They had over 5 times the troops as Iron Brother Nation, and much better equipment. Yet they still suffered such a huge defeat. They almost had all their frontline officers executed. Only after an inquiry did they find out Iron Brother Nation used drones they had never seen before. That immediately made the Third Nation realize those drones must have come from Xiaguo. Because aside from Xiaguo and America, no other country could produce such advanced drones. The Third Nation was furious. Once again, Xiaguo ruined our plans. We can't let Xiaguo get away with this. Since we can't attack Iron Brother Nation anymore, we'll join America in going all out against Xiaguo next. However, they have to buy anti-drone weapons from the beautiful country. They can't afford to suffer the same loss twice. India is blaming all their anger on Xiaguo. Little do they know, the leaders of Xiaguo are equally baffled. During this time, to deal with the beautiful country, Xiaguo has been at a huge disadvantage. They hardly have the capacity to openly support Pakistan. Yet, Pakistan managed to defeat India single-handedly, and did it with a smaller force. It's truly astonishing. After Pakistan's president claimed victory, he immediately expressed gratitude to Xiaguo.
When speaking with Xiaguo's foreign ministry, he was especially thankful for the drone support. This left Xiaguo's foreign minister completely dumbfounded. When did we ever provide you with military drones? The Pakistani president quickly switched the topic and smiled, saying he understood. Xiaguo has never provided us with any weapons. This really can't be leaked. That very day, the procurement officers on the front line continued to contact us online. The drones you provided are just incredible. The first time we used them in battle, we defeated the Indian army. We're planning to order another batch to guard against another Indian invasion. This time, the Ministry of Defense has approved sufficient funds. You don't have to cut us any slack. Let's just go with the regular price. After Pakistan's victory, they immediately brought in experts to evaluate the drones. They concluded these drones cost at least 300,000 RMB each, and the sales price should be over 500,000. Yet they were only paying 10,000 RMB per drone. That's practically a giveaway. This made them even more convinced that it was Xiaguo's government helping them by providing the weapons through this method. But they were also well aware that you can't be greedy. If they wanted to buy more drones, they couldn't keep getting them so cheap. You saw the news as well, and were glad that Pakistan won. Congratulations on your victory. I already saw it on the news. But you were still quite puzzled. What exactly is regular market price? Did they think the price was too low? You quickly figured it out. Your impression of the Pakistani officials improved a lot. Even though their country is poor, they don't always take advantage. You continue typing, asking how many drones they wanted to order this time. At least 500 more. You did a quick calculation, and still decided to offer them a favorable price. Since it had come to this, 100,000 RMB per drone. How does that sound? You knew that with this drone's performance, selling at 1 million would be justified. But with these drones in Pakistani hands, they could strike at R3. Plus, Pakistan is quite poor to begin with, so you didn't want the price to be too high. The Pakistani procurement officer was almost moved to tears. From their point of view, 100,000 RMB per drone isn't even enough to cover Xiaguo's costs. Their government really treats them well. No problem, 500 drones at 100,000 RMB each. Before you could even say anything, they wired the full 50 million right away. You heard the notification sound and saw an extra 50 million in your account. It instantly put you in a great mood. This order made another 40 million in profit. The Pakistani procurement officer continued. The money's been transferred. Thank you again for your support. You're welcome. You even sent a smiling emoji. The Pakistani procurement officer suddenly understood. Turns out Xiaguo wants to market this drone on the international arms market.
He immediately reassured you.
We'll recommend this drone to our other friendly nations. We'll make sure to bring you more customers.
And
We'll keep our purchase price absolutely confidential. We won't leak it to anyone. Only then did you realize, even 100,000 per drone is considered cheap by them. They genuinely think it's a bargain. So you immediately decided to do some research on military drone prices on the international market. You shouldn't sell them too cheaply. Chatted for a while. The delivery date was confirmed. Since there's currently no danger in Barlandia, there's no rush to deliver. So you agreed to deliver in a month? Of course you agreed to this. Camelstan has a great relationship with Barlandia. They heard Barlandia just won a major victory and immediately reached out proactively, not only to congratulate Barlandia, but also to try to figure out the reason for their win. Barlandia didn't hide anything from them, especially in your conversation. They agreed to help find new customers. Camelstan was told. It was because they purchased a batch from Xiaguo. Extremely powerful military drones. That's how they dominated the battlefield, turning defeat into victory. They greatly praised the performance and combat capability of the drones, sparking strong interest in Camelstan. Camelstan is filthy rich, making more money than they can spend from oil sales. But they also have a serious headache. There's a local armed faction nearby that constantly attacks them. Although Camelstan is wealthy, their army is basically useless. No matter how advanced the weapons are, they still get trounced by these armed groups. As soon as the enemy attacks, their soldiers drop their weapons and run for their lives. They're often jokingly called the transport brigade leaders online.
So, to protect national security, Camelstan even hires Barlandian forces to fight against hostile groups. Drones that can be remotely operated are simply the perfect weapon for Camelstan's military. They can eliminate enemies by remote control, without any risk to their own lives. No danger at all. This way their soldiers can finally fight effectively. They immediately asked for contact information and got ready to place an order online. Barlandia told them they could only be reached at night, and no one would reply at any other times. Meanwhile, after finishing everything, you arrive at school, only to find your classmates giving you very strange looks.
Lin, hi.
When did you get together with Joe Kier? Your buddy Lee Kun walks up to you and slaps your desk, startling you. What are you talking about? Joe Kier and I are just friends. Don't spread rumors seriously. That's ridiculous. I saw it with my own eyes after school the other day. Joe Kier grabbed your hand and left with you. If you're not dating, how could you be holding hands? And you've been out the last couple of days. But Joe Kier came looking for you in class every day. If she really just needed something, why didn't she just call me? Suddenly, Lee Kung grabs you by the neck and shakes you hard. This guy even has Joe Kier's number and still says nothing is going on? The looks from the guys around you could kill. You break free from Lee Kun's grip and yell, "Have you lost your mind? Are you trying to choke me to death?" Honestly, I kinda wanna choke you to death right now. Joe Kier is my dream girl. You got the best girl. Lee Kun looks so devastated. What kind of nonsense is this? You can't help but laugh and cry. Who the heck is spreading these rumors? Anyway, you better be careful. A lot of Joe Kier's admirers are out to get you. Dozens of them have come looking for you over the past couple days. Lee Kun pats your shoulder sympathetically. Suddenly, you realize how serious this is. Joe Kier isn't just any school beauty. She's got a ton of admirers. If the news spreads, the consequences will be really serious. No, I need something to protect myself. You quietly open the tech system shop, looking for something to protect yourself. A single mecha costs 10,000 tech points and 300 million Shia coins in the multiverse shop. That's basically Iron Man's armor. Looks awesome. And it packs a punch. But there's no way I could wear that to school. Way too over the top. A mini laser gun can pierce a 10 cm steel plate. One shot, one kill. Yeah, that's not going to work either. I'm not some super villain. Can't just kill anyone who gives me trouble. SuperGuard watch. Nuclear battery provides unlimited strong power. Lets the user release 10 times their strength. And unleashes powerful electric attacks. Forms an electric shield around the user, tearing through any attack. Whoa, this is awesome. Wearing it isn't obvious. Has offense and defense. Simply perfect. You check the price and gasp. Damn, it costs 5,000 tech points and 50 million Shia coins. It's expensive, but you think it's worth it. You'll be doing business overseas in the future and providing advanced technology here at home. Over time, you might become a target for foreign spies, so you definitely need protection. You decide. You'll make the SuperGuard watch after school. As you're thinking this over, you suddenly hear a commotion. Look, Joe Kier is in our class again. She's so pretty. She really is our school's top beauty. You look up and see Joe Kier waving at you. Suddenly you feel countless murderous glares coming your way. You quickly rush out and pull Joe Kier to a quiet spot. Why are you here in our class? That's what I wanted to ask you. Why haven't you come to school the past 2 days? If you were absent again today, I was planning to come to your house. You reply you had some business at home to deal with. An overseas order was urgent, so you took 2 days off. Why did you want to see me? Joe Kier smiles. I wanted to tell you something. Our central military district is developing a new tank, and all the tank experts are trying their best this time to make the most advanced tank. Do you have any ideas or suggestions? How about coming to give us some guidance? No problem. I'll definitely come by. You're very interested too, for the tech system.
Tanks are pretty basic technology.
It takes very few tech points to unlock tank production. And with the super manufacturing platform, you can make them extremely fast. You consider whether to take this project. Joe Kier quickly explains. My grandpa says, this weapon competition isn't just about our district's reputation. Whichever military district has the best tank will also get to sell it internationally. Over the past few years, our Shago defense market share has dropped. All our experts are eager to develop the most advanced new tank. I see. Don't worry, I'll do everything I can to help. You agree right away. And go with Joe here to the tank research department at the weapons lab. All the experts are gathered together. They're in a heated argument. Didn't expect there would be a few foreigners present. If our demands aren't met, then we'll resign. Without our technical support, Xia will never break through tank technology. The Xia experts look extremely upset. When you were at your toughest moment, it was Xia who took you in, gave you generous benefits. The salary you're getting now is already high enough. And yet, at this crucial moment, you're demanding outrageous amounts. Can you really face your own conscience? What's a conscience worth anyway? We're out here working. We must get sufficient profit. It's true no decent company wanted us before, but things are different now. American arms companies want to hire us back for a high price. Their pay is way higher than yours. If you want our technology, you need at least 1 billion Xia dollars and an annual salary of 200 million Xia dollars. Otherwise, we'll quit immediately. Go to American military factories. You guys really are a bunch with no conscience. Don't think American military factories will give you good benefits. They just want to suppress our Xia. After you go back, you might not get the promised salary. The Xia experts are furious inside, but still try to persuade. If the research institute loses these foreign experts, the next generation tank development won't be completed on time, and the tanks produced won't meet design requirements. We have to find a way to keep these people. But the foreign experts are confident that Xia is desperate for their technology. Even if American military factories might not keep their word, for now you really need our technology, don't you? Without us, Xia can't produce advanced tanks. In the confrontation with America, Xia will fall behind. But demanding 1 billion right away and 200 million a year, that's just way too much. There's no such outrageous salary anywhere in the world. The old expert is infuriated by them. The foreign experts look smug. That's not our problem. Without our technical support, you'll have to start research from scratch. The wasted funds will probably far exceed our salary, right? You're taking advantage of the situation, not keeping your word as people. Who would dare hire you in the future? The Xia experts are furious, but there's nothing they can do. They hired foreign technical experts at a high price, but never expected them to turn their backs at a crucial moment.
Taking the opportunity to extort?
It's truly outrageous. But the new tank project is almost done, and the foreign experts suddenly walk away, even though it's very frustrating. Now they can only increase the budget, accept the extortion. Just then, you step forward and shout, demanding 1 billion up front. Aren't you afraid the wind will twist your tongue? People like you who have no credibility at all don't deserve such a high price. Who are you? You have no right to speak here. They see you as very young, even wearing a school uniform. The foreign experts don't even notice you. Let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Lin Hai. I'm a college student. Also, a technical advisor at the Central Military District Weapons Research Institute. The 5 foreign technical experts scan you up and down curiously, then suddenly break out laughing. The Grand Xia Eastern Military District Weapons Research Institute actually hires a college student as a technical advisor. No wonder your weapons technology is so far behind America. This is truly absurd. Looks like we actually asked for too little. I think we should demand 2 billion before we sell them our technology. Jokier is furious and scolds them. You frogs at the bottom of the well. You have no idea how powerful Lin Hai is. All of you together aren't worth even one of his fingers. Kier, don't be anxious. I'll go talk to them. You're worried that Zhou Kier might accidentally reveal something in her anger. She might expose the issue about the new combat aircraft. You quickly interrupt. Then you tell the experts, in Xia we have an old saying, those who are not of our kind have different hearts. There's nothing left to discuss with them. Since these people want to leave, just let them go. As long as you give me 100 million, I guarantee I'll make it for you. The most advanced tank in the world. The Shia experts haven't responded yet. When the foreign experts burst into laughter, you think you can really make an advanced tank? At best, you could make a tank model. You're just a kid who hasn't grown up, and you dare to talk big like this. Do you realize that without us, your tank's core technology will never improve? We've changed our minds. Now we need 2 billion to stay. Or we'll just walk away. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and leave. Since Lin Hai says he can make an advanced tank, we don't care about your technology anymore. Zhou Qier trusts you 100%. That's what you said. Don't regret it later. Didn't expect the Waxia Institute to trust a student. How ridiculous. You can't leave yet. We don't have the authority for this. We must report to Director Zhou. I'll approve it for you. Since you're not following the contract, just submit your resignation. Without the contract we hired you on, you people are no longer qualified to stay in Xia. Buy your tickets and leave immediately. Zhou Zhenlong walks over with his group. Grandpa, you're here. Zhou Qier happily runs over to greet him. Is this really possible? Are we really putting all our hopes on this young man? The tank research experts aren't familiar with you. Departments keep strict confidentiality. They only know you're from the fighter jet R&D section. Hired as a technical advisor. The key thing is fighter jets and tanks have no technological overlap. Zhou Zhenlong turns to ask you, are you sure you can develop an advanced tank? You hold up one finger. Give me 100 million Xiabi. And give me 1 week. I guarantee you'll get the most advanced tank in the world. If you find anything unsatisfactory, all the money will be refunded, and I'll compensate 10 times over. When Zhou Zhenlong hears this, his eyes light up. You dare to make such a bold claim in front of everyone. You must be confident. 100 million. If you can develop the world's most advanced tank, that's actually a great deal. He agrees right away without hesitation. All right, we'll do as you say. 100 million plus a week. By the way, one more thing. Give me that unfinished tank as well. Many parts can be used directly. Production will be faster. No problem. The foreign technical experts have already resigned anyway. That half-finished tank is useless now. If you need it, just take it. Zhou Zhenlong agrees decisively. The foreign experts are shocked at first. They look at each other, then quickly realize what's going on. Thinking they've seen through Zhou Zhenlong's plan, they look at him with mocking faces and start laughing loudly. Director Zhou, I didn't expect someone of your status to put on an act in front of us. Just this guy also claims he can make the most advanced tank in 1 week. Do you really think we'd believe that? I've heard Xia people are good at scheming. Seeing it today is truly eye-opening. You deliberately found someone to claim he could develop a new tank, trying to trick us, so we won't ask for a higher price. But at least you should have found someone who looks like a real expert. How could such a young man fool us? 2 billion plus a yearly salary of 200 million. Not a penny less. Or we leave right now. Go. Quickly send someone to process their departure paperwork. Make them leave immediately. Zhou Zhenlong impatiently waves his hand. And staff immediately step forward to drive out the foreign technicians. The foreign experts are amazed. You can't be serious, right? If you kick us out, no one will develop your fire control and power systems. They're already panicking inside. Leaving Xia, they'll never find jobs with such high pay again. Even in an American arms factory, they won't be treated as importantly. After all, military factories have even greater technical experts. No one in America will spoil them. If they can't finish work or have a bad attitude, they could be fired. Nowhere else is as comfortable as working in Xia. Zhou Zhenlong now feels extremely satisfied. Hurry and make them leave. Just seeing these people is annoying. He's disliked the foreign experts for a long time. But previously there was no way. Now, with Lin Hai's promise, the foreign experts aren't worth anything. We don't need 2 billion, or even 1 billion. How about we go back to the original treatment? We swear, we absolutely won't delay any longer. We'll finish your fire control and power systems as soon as possible. The foreign experts regret it now. They're desperately trying to stay, but the soldiers still drag them out. Zhou Zhenlong says to you, I'm putting the entire Central Military District's honor all on you. Don't let me down. You smile slightly. I've got it covered. Have someone take that unfinished tank to my processing factory. I promise to finish it within a week. All right, I'll wait for your good news. Zhou Zhenlong is very happy. The tank experts on site all look at each other. The military soon delivers the unfinished tank to your facility. Now it's time to summon the super processing platform for evaluation. New tank modification plan, evaluation complete. 2 modification plans provided. Plan 1, heavy cannon automated tank. Attack range increased by 200%. Movement speed increased by 100%. Armor defense capability increased by 400%. Heavy cannon automated tank requires 2,000 tech points. Universal world procurement cost, 10 million. You're very satisfied with the first plan. The main point is you can accept the modification cost. The system report continues. Plan 2, nuclear-powered electromagnetic cannon stealth tank. Maximum range, 50 kilometers. The barrel can attack from any angle. Maximum firing rate, 10 shells per second. Maximum speed, 180 kilometers per hour. Nuclear-powered electromagnetic cannon stealth tank requires 5,000 tech points. Universal world procurement modification cost, 50 million Xiaobi. After listening to the system's introduction, you're completely stunned. The performance of the nuclear-powered tank is absolutely incredible. It practically has unlimited endurance. Its movement speed is extremely fast. The electromagnetic cannon is tremendously powerful. Not only does it fire shells at an extremely high speed, the massive kinetic energy combined with explosive power makes its shells dozens of times more powerful than those of the same caliber. Not only is it powerful, it even has air defense capabilities. The radar on the tank. As long as it detects incoming shells or missiles, it can immediately fire shells to counterattack, shoot down missiles with its shells. There are virtually no weaknesses on the battlefield. Even when facing bombers and fighter jets, it has strong self-defense abilities. Isn't that obvious? Of course, we need to build a nuclear-powered stealth electromagnetic cannon tank. You didn't even hesitate to decide to produce the second type of tank. The US and all of NATO, as well as every hostile country. Just wait and see. The more you think about it, the more excited you get. You immediately arrange for the super manufacturing platform to start production. At the same time, you open the online store to check for orders. You actually see several messages. And the messages are from Camel Country. Hello, is the shop owner there? I want to buy your drones. Shop owner, please reply promptly when you see this message. You quickly reply, sorry. There have been a lot of orders lately. I'm too busy with work. Response times are sometimes delayed. Please forgive me, just sent the message. The other party immediately replied, saying, great. Finally made contact with you. I'm a military procurement officer from Camel Country, representing Iron Country. They said they were able to defeat the India's army, all thanks to the drones you provided. So we also want to purchase a batch. Turns out it was a customer recommendation. Then that's not a problem. How many units are you looking to order? We'll start by ordering 200 units. Give us a quote. Wow, no wonder they're called big spenders. Just their tone tells you they're wealthy. You talk to yourself, although you're doing business to make money. But quality equipment is only sold to countries friendly to Chablis. Hostile countries won't get it no matter how much they offer. Camel Country and Chablis have always had a good relationship. Since they're so wealthy, there's no need to give them a discount. Each drone is 500,000 yuan, and shipping is not included. After considering, you gave them your price. No problem. 200 drones come to a total of 100 million. As long as they can win battles, this price is a steal. The other party was very happy. Camel Country's intelligence service specifically looked into Iron Country. They destroyed tons of tanks using drones, armored vehicles and artillery, and even managed to shoot down a bunch of attack helicopters and fighter jets. Brought down many aircraft. In their opinion, a drone for only 500,000 yuan. That's dirt cheap. Wow, big spenders for sure. The quoted price is still too low. You suddenly feel a bit regretful. Should have quoted 1 million per drone. That would have easily earned another 100 million. Because the Camel Country only cares about performance. They don't care about price at all. Although you regret it a bit. But thinking about it, since it's the first time, You should let them benefit a bit in the deal. If they're satisfied with the drones, they'll definitely order other weapons in the future. By then you can quote a high price. They probably won't mind. After full payment, delivery will be in a month. Air shipped, just be ready to receive on time. You send the message. Money is not an issue. But can you shorten the delivery time? We're also at war over here.
And
The recent attacks from hostile forces have been extremely fierce. We need your drones. After thinking about it, you said, let's make it half a month. If you like how they perform, remember to keep supporting our business. No problem. Thank you so much. As long as they work well, we guarantee we'll keep ordering. When you saw the message, you heard the text alert for the bank deposit. They promptly transferred all the money. You're in a really good mood. Didn't expect to close another deal. You've already accumulated over 20 million science points. Plus, the technology you exchanged can be used repeatedly. No need to spend science points again. Although business is going well, but a single super manufacturing platform is still too inefficient. If you keep getting orders, you simply can't keep up in a short time. You start to feel worried. Ding, the tech system has detected order backlog. Would you like to expend 1,500 science points to exchange for a super manufacturing platform? What? Even super manufacturing platforms can be exchanged? Of course, as long as you have enough science points. In the future, the host can even build super factories. Great! You immediately choose to exchange. After 1,500 science points are deducted, now you have a second super manufacturing platform. Two super platforms working together to rush production. Efficiency improves dramatically. You're delighted. You organize all the other model orders. Let the workers handle them. Then go rest early yourself. Soon, early the next morning, you cheerfully head to school. But as soon as you walk into the school, suddenly feel several murderous gazes looking your way.